Hello, hello. Welcome to the Beaker Show. We are getting started today with session number 70. So we're picking up where we left off last week in the deserts here. So we'll take just a second here to give you a recap once we get our players in. So beyond that, sit back, relax, and enjoy the story. Alright, so getting everybody back together here. Last session we saw our adventurers beginning their trek into what is Zanzidar's backstory arc. We set foot into the desert and began to make our way towards Zan's hometown, his home village, which he was informed was in the middle of some interesting goings-ons. It sounds like there's some sort of ancient ruins that are buried in the deserts, just a few days' travel away from the nearest city, which happens to be Zanzidar's home city. It sounds like somebody has taken over the operations that were going on there. What you've gathered so far is whatever these ruins were, they had been some sort of archaeological dig in the past, or even up to most recently. Somebody was unearthing it, working on finding out what was down there, and just kind of, archaeology type stuff. But apparently somebody has stepped in and through some means, you're unsure how or if it was legitimate, but somebody has taken control. Which normally isn't enough for the Scaly Eyes to get involved. They don't really care about who buys, owns, purchases, things like that. However, through some arcane means and some of the Scaly Eyes operatives that are in the area, they found out that there has been a portal to hell opened somewhere within these ruins in the desert. And that did strike a chord with the Scaly Eyes. And the Motherworm, knowing your guys' adventures a little bit, thought that Zan might be the best bet to send in there. It sounded like you guys might have some overlapping responsibilities or needs that would correlate with whatever might be going on in this area. So you began to make your way there. Had a few encounters already in your first couple days of travel. Found some goblins that were on a mission, being attacked by some sand worms that you guys heartily took care of. You did in fact save all of the goblins. Something that you realized is when these worms strike, they don't strike to kill. They paralyze their prey and then take them somewhere else to devour later. So every goblin that was down was still alive, though paralyzed. You recognize that the goblins had some sort of cure-all for this. You traded with a couple of them and managed to get a couple of vials of this sandworm anti-poison, should you ever encounter these things again and need to utilize it. You also came upon a group of skeletons that you talked to. These were interesting skeletons, as they seemed to have bodies of sand around their actual skeleton, though you quickly realized that they were beings that were pulled from hell and put into these bodies in order to serve a master, some sort of necromancer whom they told you had been killed, and so now they were wandering and were stuck to these dunes for some reason. You were also told, backtracking just a little bit, that the reason the goblins were in the area they were in is they had recently come across another goblin who was a prisoner in some sort of small caravan of what they described as devilish type people and necromancers and just weird guys that were headed north into the desert, and that the goblin that they had captured had asked them to help him find his friend to maybe come and save him. These goblins weren't the best on their common, so they gathered it was a dragonborn in some sort of skirt or dress or interesting garments, and that's what they were going off of. But you guys offered to help them, and they said, "Cool, well, we'll let you do it." And now they're going back to whatever they do. So, you got your next thread that a dragonborn wearing a kilt had killed the master of these sand skeleton things, but was also kind of headed north looking for whomever their master's boss was. So you guys continued your trek that way, played around a little bit with some of the wonky magics here in the desert. Bink teleporting himself 500 feet underground and then miraculously being able to get back out with a couple good rolls. You also then proceeded into your second day, where you stumbled upon an oasis that gave you fruit that tasted like watermelon and delicious water, all of it enticing you to not want to leave the oasis, but you managed to shrug that off for the most part. But then were introduced to the oasis itself as it revealed itself to you. And you all saw that this oasis was actually, in fact, a large creature calling himself an ooze, or an oozasis. And asked you guys if you would stay and party with him. Told you that he had the ability to... Oh, how did I phrase it? Essentially, he is able to record the memories of other beings. So any creature that he has had contact with, or enough contact with, he is able to take their memories and make them his own. And he mentioned that he has thousands upon thousands of memories, and you asked him to see if he could scour those memories and perhaps find a way into hell for you. He said he would do so, but that you would have to come back and find him again, because that would take a while. So you offered to maybe potentially come back someday. But after leaving that night, Callie and Zanzadar, having partaken in the fruits and the water, had some interesting dreams about partying in an oasis with a bunch of random friends and people.
Oh, yeah.
Callie woke up realizing it was an awkward dream. Zan, on the other hand, in the back of your mind, you feel compelled to make friends and go back to that oasis and party with all of your friends. So, we'll see where that takes you. But that's essentially where you guys left off. So, bringing it around to today. Unfortunately, we will not have Bink with us, so his part will be kind of played by me. We'll mostly just allow him to be a traveling NPC with you at the time. But you guys have awoken. Zan, you have had this realization. You are within Bink's mansion, so you are safe at the moment. At this point, Aiden, you have joined. You were kind of just following the party as best you could. They were flying, you were not, so you were definitely exhausted. You probably made it to the oasis as they were leaving the oasis. Probably saw them flying towards it, told them to stop, they didn't. Then by the time you got there, they were flying away from it. So you were probably a little mad you didn't get any water, but you eventually made it back to Bink's door. And you are all awakening and are heading down to breakfast here within Bink's mansion at the start of your third day of travel. Last thing to note is you guys recognize that on foot, it's about 20 days worth of travel to get to Zan's hometown. So, with that, I will turn it over to you guys here this morning. What would you like to do, or any conversations you might like to have?
So you know what we should do? We should go back to the skeleton.
To the skeletons?
Yep. Because we could get them to come to the oasis with us.
I wonder what's inside their brains.
I don't know. Didn't seem like a whole lot. Didn't.
I'd love to see the skeletons again. They were creepy.
Ah.
I would say at this point, have you guys taken the time to inform Aiden? Because he probably would not have made it to the dunes by the time you guys left them.
Okay.
It's a
So,
little bit extra grumpy. Having to walk miles upon miles to the desert where you guys to enjoy the fucking free flight all over the place. But go ahead, Xandar, go ahead.
sorry, I forgot what I was saying.
Bink kind of pipes up. Like, oh yeah, Aiden! Did you see the
Yes.
skeletons on the dunes?
I'm assuming I did, DM.
From a distance, yeah.
Yes, Bink, what about them?
They were kind of creepy. You want to go back and look at them?
Not particularly, no.
Oh.
I do.
You want to look at anything that's already dead.
I mean, true. But these were not dead?
Your point?
I was telling these folks that living undead things make terrible decorations.
You also just stated we wonder what's going on in their brains.
Mm-hmm.
Why the sudden interest in the skeletons in the dunes?
Because they're people we could bring to the Oasis.
I'm sorry, what the hell did I miss about this particular oasis?
It was alive.
Did you not see it?
No, remember, I was about 2 or so miles behind you.
Oh. Well,
I walked, remember?
now we have to go back because I have to show you it.
No, thank you. If it's alive, I don't want to be a part of that.
It had trees, but they were actually arms.
Even more concerning, another reason why I don't think I want to go see this oasis.
And there was a pond. But the pond ended up just being like his belly button full of water.
Bink, you're spoiling the surprise.
Oh. Oops. Forget I said anything.
I will not.
I mean, it only takes us a few hours out of the way.
I always think seeing dead things and skeletons and stuff is worth a little detour.
Of course you do. That's up for you to decide. Wherever you go, I'd say to make sure you don't end up getting yourself killed.
I mean, a lot of good that's doing.
Well, maybe if you decide to fly off every so often, maybe I'll be able to keep up with you.
You really should get yourself a broom, Aiden.
I don't think a broom will be able to hold the weight of all my equipment as well as myself.
Well, then you should travel lighter.
No.
How much do you weigh?
With all my equipment and stuff, like upwards of 400 pounds. I don't think a whimsical broomstick's gonna be able to hold that.
I find I don't need all the bells and whistles. I do just fine with my fists, and I keep my sickle because it's cool.
I keep my sickle, that is cool, whatever. Fine, if you want to go and see this fucking oasis, why not, I guess. It's not like I really have a choice here.
Yay! And we'll go and head to the oasis.
Okay. So you guys exit Bink's area and trying to recount your steps and retrace back to the oasis. Actually, Zanzidar, you know precisely how to get there. No check required. Whether it's your innate ability to travel the desert or just every time you almost make a wrong turn, something in the back of your mind tells you the correct way to go. And after just a couple of hours of travel, you do eventually begin to sight this oasis. And I will switch back to that map for you here.
I'll walk with Aiden. Or are we all walking?
I assume we're all walking.
Oh, okay.
Oh no, take the griffin and fly, don't worry, I'll meet up with you eventually. Yeah, Aiden particularly grumpy today.
So a few hours later, you do make it back into this area. As you approach the oasis, Aiden, you can see finally getting a little closer. It looks beautiful and lush and green here in the middle of a very tan and dreary hot desert, but you see a very large tree surrounded by a plethora of palm trees and a small pond in the middle.
See, I told you it was beautiful here. You have to try some of this water.
No, considering Callie just told me it was alive, I think I'll pass.
Bink also told you it was in his belly button. I'm sure that would make some people squeamish.
Yeah, no, I don't want any water that is apparently in something's stomach.
How forceful am I feeling about this?
That's up to you, I guess. I mean, context of like the way the spell reads and the way that it worded your command, it's very loose. It's not a pressing concern. Just it's more of a see how many people you can get and bring them back on day 30. or send people here for the next 29 days, and then anybody that's with you, bring them back.
Oh, okay.
But you're welcome to play it up as much as you want.
um,
Calliope, for her part, is gonna walk up to one of the trees and just lean over and whisper to it, "Hi again. I hope you had a good night."
You see this tree kind of shudders a little bit, and then you all hear this. I'm tired. I was asleep.
Oh.
You wanted me to drink that water?
well, yeah. Why not?
I don't know, because it's alive.
The water's not alive, silly. He is.
Right, and this entire oasis is him, right?
Well, for the most part.
Including the water.
Is it including the water? I can't remember.
We're
now.
not really sure. It's sitting in, like, his belly is like inverted,
Okay.
and the water is sitting in his inverted belly.
Nice.
I don't think I want to partake in the water, thank you.
That's your problem, Aiden. You think too much.
And you don't think enough.
I think quite a lot, thank you. I just don't say most of the things I think out loud. I find it disturbs people.
So you brought me back to this oasis to meet our friend here, I guess?
Yep.
Why did you want me to partake in the water, exactly?
As it's good water.
I'm gonna insight check that.
Okay.
That's a 19.
Yep, you beat it.
Alright, Zanzibar, what are you hiding from me?
It's this place. It's like I have to make you drink the water. Here, drink, and I'll cast command on
Excellent.
it.
Is that a wisdom saving throw?
Yes. 21.
Cool. I make it with advantage since my shield.
Nice.
That's spell shield, man.
Mm-hmm.
We just got through one roll. Beyond. We just got through one roll. We just got through one roll, Beyond. That's 23, so I say
Nice.
Ooh.
I already told you, no, I'm not going to drink the water.
Mr. Slime. He's not drinking the water. What am I supposed to do?
Oh, hold on a sec. I'm really sorry about this. Achoo! You hear this like loud sneezing noise, and you all see as the pond before you like starts to emanate a bunch of mist. And I need you all to make charisma saving throws.
Hey.
Is this a magical effect or
Oh,
is this
boy.
natural?
This is not a magical effect necessarily. He's not casting a spell on you.
And wait, this one is not a charm effect, correct?
Correct.
Yeah. Volume down. My bad.
Good Lord Beyond, hello, come on. We just got started today, Beyond. What the hell? Lord. One of these days, I'm just gonna get a different laptop.
There you go.
No, I don't want that. So indomitable.
Okay.
He says no.
Good Lord Beyond. Refresh Google. Maybe not use Google. I don't know.
Might be worth it to download Firefox.
Maybe. Yeah, we have daily inspiration, right?
Mm-hmm.
Use that. Okay, 20.
Okay. You can't help but accidentally breathe in a little bit of this mist, all of you, as this creature has apparently sneezed. But you all managed to make your save, but you feel the effects of this are like kind of calming a little bit at first, but then you shake your head and recognize that something was teetering with your emotions there. No actual change. And you hear the ooze, then Zan's kind of like, oh, that's all right. We got plenty of time to make friends and get them back here.
How exactly do you want to make friends again?
To share stories and knowledge. They didn't tell you?
No. They rather just brought me here and tried to force me to drink water.
Ah, well, your friends here have asked me to scour the memories of the thousands of people that I've had parties with and see if I can find a way to get you all into hell. I haven't had enough time to do that yet, but, the more people you bring, the more chances I have of finding a way for you.
And there's no point in you exactly needing my memory since I have exactly zero knowledge of how to get into hell.
Well, that's all right. There's other people with other questions that you might be able to help with.
Aiden knows an
Right.
awful lot about responsibility.
Say that again, Cal.
Aiden knows an awful lot about responsibility and other boring things like that.
So what, you just read through the memories of the people you bring here and copy them or something? Or memorize them, I guess?
Yeah, I remember it all. That's how my brain works. I tell you what, though, you've got some interesting ones in here.
How, are you reading my memories right now?
Of course, you're standing in my oasis.
See, I told you this place was magic.
It tingles a little at first, but then you get used to it.
You do feel this kind of like, now that he said that and you're thinking about it, Aiden, you feel this little bit of numbing inside of your head. It's not enough to like change how you feel, but it's just there.
So,
Just
question
a
for you,
little
DM.
cloudy. Mm-hmm.
How does this entire effect work with the ring of mind shielding?
You gather that it's still happening.
Interesting, okay.
You're not sure how or why, but you do still feel this presence, this slight numbing in your brain.
Nope, whatever you find in there isn't exactly too disturbing for you.
Oh, I've seen worse than this.
Not surprising. So this is what you got yourselves into when you left me 2 miles behind in the desert.
Not my fault you don't have wings.
Or a broom.
So while waiting for him to try to sort through his hundreds of thousands of memories, what else are we exactly doing to get ourselves into hell? Or are we just sorting our way through the desert hoping something pops up?
I've heard of the old-fashioned ways. But those may have just been mythologies shared around the campfire.
And what's the old-fashioned way?
You know, lie to your mom, hit your brother, steal. Those kind of things.
Grand. Wonderful.
I think that's the long game, though. It wouldn't work very fast.
No, I don't think it will. Are you still sorting in there?
Oh, yeah, I've copied all your memories down. I'll get through them later. I just saw some highlights. Your life sucked.
Don't I know it? Anyways.
Hey, you were a cute kid, though.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
So,
Well, that's not creepy at all.
What, you were an ugly baby. I mean, I didn't think you'd want me to tell you that, but I'll share it. And then you all hear him, like, in your head. Zan, you don't hear this, but the other two, you do. You want to see it?
Yes.
You see,
he tried to drag me out here and force you to drink water? Sure.
you see the quintessential baby dragonborn with his butt cheeks out
Oh.
on a rug with like a bottle.
Terrifying.
He's just like this icy blue. He isn't quite the dark blue you see before you now. He's got a little stub for a tail.
Zanzidar, I didn't know you had a birthmark.
Yes, I do.
Well, we're aware of it now.
Good for you.
So do you have an actual name, or am I just going to have to call you Slime?
I used to have a name.
Did he get lost in all the hundreds of thousands of memories you have?
I'm pretty sure it has.
Do you remember how you were made, or how you ended up becoming an Oasis?
I can't say I remember. It's been a long time. I'm pretty sure I just started this way. I think I have a family somewhere, so I imagine there's more like me out there. But I've got memories of mages and wizards from ancient dead empires. I've been around for a long time. Well, you can call me Uzi or whatever.
Uzi.
Well, usually sounds better than slime. Less offensive, I guess.
Works for me.
Alright, if the main thing for you, Xandadar, was to try to get me to force feed me to drink some water, then I think we should start making some tracks, don't you think?
Yeah, I suppose so. I mean, we do have to find another Dragonborn.
That we do. So, now's the time as good as any to get a move on while the sun is so high. Pleasure to meet you, Uzi. Not sure how I feel about you having such free reign over my memories, but well, not exactly anything I can do about it now.
Don't worry about it. I just like the stories.
At least you'll have an endless amount of stories to tell in your party, whenever that's supposed to happen.
Hopefully soon. Oh, good luck out there.
And Xandadar, you're leading the way on this one.
Zan, as you are turning to go, you just hear in your mind, only in your mind, you just hear the ooze say, "Thanks, keep up the good work." And you feel a sense of accomplishment as you have brought it one friend.
Hey.
Nice.
You brought it one.
Hey, I don't know. Aiden's got some deets in his mind. That's some good content right there.
Man's gonna have some popcorn for a couple of days.
I would say that's primetime television, not the soap operas he's used to.
Right.
Like, ooh, champion of Bahamut. Ooh.
So you're wandering back into the desert?
Yep.
Almost. Well, I can't see on the road again. There's no fucking road.
Nope. So, as you guys are trekking ever further north, you know the general direction. At the moment, you're still kind of wandering a little bit. You do eventually make it back past where you had camped the night before, and you continue on your trek. So, for today's travel, if somebody would like to roll me a d20.
God damn it. Sure, I guess I'll do it.
Go for it.
This way we can blame Aiden.
Hey.
Okay. Well, that's a natural 20.
Nice.
Oh, that's either really good or really, really bad.
Wonderful.
It's bad, guys. It's
No. Everybody make a perception check for me.
God damn it.
I am perceiving not a lot. Hey, twinsies!
God damn it.
Callie and Zan, you guys are a little distracted.
Hey, Zan, since we can't fly, do you want to play leapfrog?
God damn it.
What's that?
Well, you use your wings and I'll use my broom. And we'll jump over each other.
How do you tell if someone wins?
I don't think you're supposed to win.
Okay. We'll try it.
Damn it, they're literally playing Leapfrog. Are you kidding me?
3-person leapfrog gets funky, but we would invite Bink and Peter to join.
Yeah. So your party begins leapfrogging through the desert as you are trudging as best you can in this heat, Aiden. But you do pick up something. You hear the sounds of shouting and roaring,
Oh shit.
and the clashing of something against steel and metal. It sounds like there's a fight going on ahead of you. You can't see anything at the moment, but you see a small dune that you're encroaching on. So you imagine you might have a better vantage up there as to whatever might be ahead. Or you can choose to avoid it. You know something is going on up ahead of you. But you are the only one who has caught it so far.
Okay, well, my two compatriots are back there fucking playing Leapfrog. How far back behind them are they? Jesus Christ.
I mean, if we're flying leapfrog.
Yeah, they're keeping up pretty well.
I'm imagining that each time someone jumps over the other person, they get a little higher.
Hey, you two, get on the fucking ground.
Why?
Yeah, why?
I hear a commotion up ahead. I have no idea whether it's friendly or hostile, so I'd rather not
They're
shoot down.
friendly.
And no, how can you make that assumption?
Goes sprinting forward.
Oh no.
God damn it.
I'm still under that compulsion.
Right? Let's
God
make
damn it.
friends!
God damn it.
So Zan just goes sprinting towards the dune in front of you.
Calliope just looks at Aiden, shrugs, and runs after Zanzibar.
What? These two are gonna get themselves killed. Okay. You know, at least move up enough to see where the commotion is coming from.
Mhm.
God damn it.
So as a couple of you traverse quickly, and Aiden, you catch up to them, you guys do eventually breach the crest of this dune, and you can see it leads down into a little bit of a valley. You can see some rocky crags and things, so it's less of a dune, more of like the side of a canyon, but it's not super deep. It's only maybe 20 or 30 feet down, and then it goes back up on the other side. But down in the crevasse here in front of you, you see an interesting sight. You can see scattered around the ground at the moment are a few giant cats that appear to be severed in various ways, most of which are no longer moving, seems to be dead on the ground. And you see the bodies of a couple of gigantic creatures, creatures that look very similar to ogres or giants, though they are very sandy in appearance. Zan, you would recognize this as a group of desert giants and what are called catamounts, which are war cats bred by the desert giants. And the desert giants are generally openly hostile. They don't attack civilization very often, but they are the self-proclaimed warlords of the desert. And you see the corpses of about 5 or 6 catamounts and about 2 or 3 desert giants that have been hacked. but still standing in the middle of this, you see a fray as a bleeding catamount and a desert giant who is holding a club in one arm, and his other arm appears to have been severed and is on the ground somewhere, is currently in the midst of fighting with a very large to you black dragonborn wearing a red kilt. And as you approach, you watch as this creature, this dragonborn, lifts this giant axe behind him, and you see it flash with some sort of elemental energy as you see his eyes are glazed over. They're bright red and almost appear to be flaming as he lifts this great axe and cuts this giant in half. And as this giant's body splits and begins to fall, he arcs his great axe and beheads this giant cat at the same time. And as the body of the giant hits the ground, you hear this dragonborn just let out a roar. Yep, and then his head quickly snaps and looks in all of your directions. And you see him kind of have this toothy, almost bestial type grin as he looks weather weary. Like he looks like he's been out here for a minute, and he looks crazed. And as he stares up at you all on the ridge, you hear him shout out, "Do you have my goblin?" And he rushes towards you.
Ah!
What do you do?
Demand.
Okay.
Friend.
What's the save on this?
Wisdom 21.
Okay. Okay. He does not succeed. So you see him pause and falter. This rage still going in his eyes. It calms a little bit as he stares at you all. Who are you?
We were sent to look for you. We do not have your goblin, friend, but the other goblins sent us.
You see his breathing begin to slow a little bit, and his eyes kind of readjust, and they don't seem to be glaring as much anymore as he sets his great axe kind of down, the head of it down in the sand. Starts taking some labored big breaths, and now that you've gotten close enough and you can view him, Zan, I don't think you've met him before. Callie certainly has not.
Nope.
But Aiden, you would recognize this as Gastier from Fandalen.
The goblin's name was Droopy, right?
Yep.
I figured, okay. You're looking for Droopy.
His head swivels and looks at you, Aiden. He said, "I know you. You're that human that was working with that cat that wanted to buy my house."
Yes, Rhagar. It's been quite some time, Gastier.
Who are these with you? They're new.
Hello.
Yes, one so more than the other. The dragonborn in front of you is named Zanzadar. Bit of an eccentric fellow, but quite capable. Behind him is, she calls herself Calliope. She has a very strong fascination with, undead manners. That's for her to describe, not me.
I like your kilt.
Oh, thanks. It's from a bunch of clothes from a bunch of people I killed.
Ooh, I also keep things from people who've died.
Oh, that's pretty neat.
Yeah.
My goblin's got a matching one. Droopy's his name.
Matching kilt?
Yeah.
Ooh.
Congratulations.
Thanks.
So, how exactly did you and Droopy end up all the way out here in the desert?
Well, I didn't
You
end up
know.
out here. He did. He got kidnapped or something. Some son of a
Right.
bitch tricked him.
Okay, that tracks.
Do you have a description on what this son of a bitch looks like?
No, he wouldn't have got tricked. If I was there, I would have killed him.
Right, okay. You at least know he's somewhere here in the desert, or are you just searching in the dark a little bit?
I mean, I know this area. I know where I'm going, but I don't know where they took him. It's been so confusing. Look, Taylor saw it. I guess they told him something about his brothers or his mom or something. And then they told him to follow him, and well, Droopy's not the brightest. He's probably the strongest out here, but they must have used some magics or something and gotten a hold of him and restrained him and threw him in a cart and took off. And well, Taylor was able to scry and found that he was in the desert up here, and well, I decided I better go get my goblin back. Any some bitch that takes him from me, well, I'll split his skull.
Did you happen to see the oasis on your way in?
God damn it.
I sure did.
Cool.
Cool.
You didn't drink the water, did you?
I ain't that stupid. But anyways, what are y'all doing out here?
We're going to hell.
In a manner of speaking, yes.
I mean, we all are eventually, I assume, but
That's what I was trying to tell them earlier. I don't think they understood.
they're lost.
I mean, did you participate in the war effort?
I did my bit.
Do you know what it was about? Like, why the war started?
I don't ask a lot of questions when somebody tells me I can kill a bunch of people without getting in trouble.
Oh, okay. So,
Plus, I got 1,000 other things to worry about. I just trekked halfway across the damn Sword Coast with 100 fucking goblins. Alright? I
why'd
needed
you
a
do
break.
that?
Why'd I what?
Why'd you do that? Was this like an after party thing?
No, they needed help, and I like goblins, so I helped them. They brought me this really cool bronze statue back of a dragon head, and I put them to work in the giant castle.
Calliope
it
would
was
like
just
to
an
insight check
animated
this guy.
head.
Sorry.
Insight checker?
Yeah.
Sure, what are you looking
Because
for?
everything he's saying just sounds like a fairy tale.
Sure.
We're talking about an army of goblins and a giant castle. She'd never heard of any of this. 22.
You don't detect an ounce of a lie out of his mouth right now. It's confusing, but he seems to be telling the truth.
All right.
But yeah, then, you know, a bunch of the troops in Fandolin or whatever were talking about a war effort. And, well, you know, me and Droopy, we helped out a little bit. We walked down to the south and kept walking, and eventually we found that town. I forget what it was called, Araflani or something like that. We punched a few orcs and cut up a few orcs, and there was these giant blue snake things that breathed fire, and when you touch them they burned a little bit. Those were kind of fun to kill. Well, then they said we were done, so I headed back, and well, that's when I lost my goblin. And now I'm here.
So, I mean, so there's this guy called Lord Cryo, and he's basically trying to end the world. And we have to go to hell to stop him.
Well, I'm not surprised. What's he got to do with me?
Well, I don't know. When you put it that way, not really anything.
Above table, we made the connection that Cryo might have Droopy, right?
Yeah, you guys
In-game?
have. He doesn't know.
We think that he might be the one who has Droopy, was it?
Oh, yeah, he's got my goblin?
We think so.
Son of a bitch.
Yeah.
I guess you better tell me about this guy.
Son of a bitch.
Well, I mean, he's really strong.
Well, that's a plus. I like fighting strong guys.
I actually don't know much about him.
He he is a mixture of an ancient white dragon with the powers of a lich, who is also the champion of Tiamat.
Well, hell, that
Sad.
sounds like a great fight.
Sure.
Man, you know who would love a fight with the Lich?
Droopy.
Yeah. And Taylor, but Furbolgs don't do so well in the desert, so he stayed home.
Humans don't do well in the desert either.
Well, that's unfortunate. Are you human?
No, but
Huh,
Aiden is.
Guess you're set. Oh, well, shit.
Yeah. He's having
I'm
a real
doing
hard go
quite-
of it.
I'm doing quite fine, thank you.
That's not what you
Yeah.
said this morning.
I mean, I
Doesn't-
offered you water and you decided not to drink it.
You offered me water from a slime. It's not the same thing. I'm not going to drink water from a slime, thanks.
Between the two of us, I think the heat is getting to him.
Do you need something to drink?
Water would be nice, I guess.
I got this, and he holds out a flask. It looks like it looks very similar. You've seen something like it before. It looks like Rhaegar's flask of endless water. He holds it out. You can have some of this if you want.
That flask looks very familiar. Is there anything I should know about it?
Just say trickle. Otherwise, you'll get a face full.
I had to say geyser. Okay. He's gonna take the flask. Now he'll open it and say, "Let me." What were the 3 commands? I think it was trickle. Was there anything else, or is it just straight trickle and geyser?
There's 3. There's a middle one. I forget what it's called though, but it's
I think it
a little bit faster.
River or something like
Yeah.
that? Something, I don't know.
There's basically 1, 2, and 3. So there's
Garden
slow, medium,
hose.
and fast.
I will look. Read on.
I think it's like stream, geyser.
That's what I was thinking. It was something river, stream, creek, something.
Fountain. It's stream, fountain, and geyser.
There it is.
Ah.
Well, stream alone produces 1 gallon of water, so I think that's more than enough. We'll open it up and do stream.
Okay. Are you just drinking it?
Yep.
Wonderful. As you begin to stream this gallon of liquid into your mouth, you very quickly realize it is not water.
Uh-oh.
What
It
the
is-
fuck is
It is whole white milk.
It is whole,
Whole milk.
It's whole milk.
Vitamin D, whole milk.
Okay. Is it fresh?
Yeah, it is fresh. It is fresh and it is cool.
Okay.
It's just not water.
Perfect temperature
That's
for
fine.
cereal.
That's fine. I'll take it.
Yep.
Ain't nothing wrong with that.
Are you gonna drink the whole gallon?
I don't think it's advisable to drink a whole gallon of water in an instant like that.
Uh-huh. Just checking.
Especially a gallon, especially when it's not water, it's milk.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So stop.
He
Probably
brings us
like
some
if he's
relatively
after like
famous.
a cup or two.
Yeah.
Oh God, maybe.
And then he's gonna look at Callie. Would you like some?
You can see just a little trickle of like white liquid coming out of his lips.
Does he have the got milk mustache?
Yes, absolutely.
I think I'm good, but thanks.
You should. It's quite refreshing.
Okay.
Geyser.
Do I get a save or anything?
You can
DC 13 strength saving throw.
Yep.
Oh, strength? Oh, shit.
Yep.
Alright. Missed it by 1.
Okay.
No.
According to that, you take 1d4 bludgeoning damage and fall prone.
Ow,
you get
goodness.
slammed by this geyser of milk.
Hey, you are. You look quite refreshed now.
See, Gostier just kind of laughs. That's gonna smell horrible in about 2 minutes.
You smell like rotten milk. Oh god. It's funny. Okay, he'll hand the flask back to Gostier.
Gostier looks over at you, Callie. He's like, "Huh, that's gonna stink. You want to wash up?"
Not with more milk.
All right. He pulls out a different flask. He says, "Geyser," and points it at you.
Oh boy.
Alright.
Make another strength save. I mean, you're already prone, but
So I think I
at
make
least
this
you're
a disadvantage.
yeah.
Well, 1 was a natural
Crap.
20, so I'll take the 19.
You don't take any more damage, but this time you are coated with water as it rinses everything off.
She'll spin around.
Yeah.
Run her fingers through her hair.
Yep. So there you go. I don't usually drink this one because water sucks. He puts it back in his bag and takes the milk one and just starts chugging.
Calliope pulls a wire from her pocket and looks at Aiden, and even though you're right next to her, you only hear a whisper in your ear, and she goes, "You have to sleep sometime."
Next time, don't poke the fucking bear. I need to cool off anyway.
So Gostier kind of finally sets the flask down and puts it back in his bag. He looks over at you, Zan. He says, "So, what are we doing? I'm getting my goblin. I guess that means this cryo guy's got to die. So, you want to help me?"
Yeah, but I mean,
We are
it
not bringing him
seems
back.
like
to
you
Gills.
don't have any direction. And no, we'll get to the oasis eventually.
I mean, I don't know where this cryo went. I just knew he was in the desert. I mean, if you guys know where he's going, we could put our heads together. You know, I know the area pretty well.
I could have sworn you said you had a location in mind that you were heading to.
Yeah, I was going north and killing anything that got in my way. I figured eventually it'd be him.
Well, at least we're also heading north, so I suppose our paths are aligning.
Well, I mean, we know Cryo is after some sort of artifact. I don't know if you know any ancient areas here around the desert.
You're not really familiar with the lore of this area, are you?
Not a whole lot.
It didn't used to be a desert, at least not like this. This was a sprawling metropolis. I believe they called it Ravnica. It was city for miles and miles. I mean, it was the largest city ever. And then like that fairy tale Atlantis, it sank.
Oh.
But it was all dwarvish owned and built. And so you're walking on top of the ruins of an old city. Some of it's deeper down than other areas. There's a couple places where people have managed to dig down deep enough to find an area that isn't full of sand and you're able to explore, you know, kind of like a cave, or, you know, they found an entrance to one of these old ruined buildings that didn't fill up with sand. And there's a couple of those archaeological spots throughout the desert out here. Most of them are to the north. That's where the higher or the bigger buildings were before it sank. So, but the whole city of Ravnica was magical in essence. It played with magic in ways that we're not really used to anymore. Certain things didn't work because of the laws that they had in place. Made it very hard for you to maliciously use magic against someone else. If you tried to harm somebody, because of the laws of the town, your magic didn't often work, or it hurt yourself instead. And obviously, to prevent theft and things like bank robberies and things like that, teleportation magic was pretty fucked up too. You couldn't just misty step into a bank vault, you know. So there was some precautions set on that, where if you tried to teleport, sometimes, well, most of the time, it sent you somewhere else. Not the way you meant to go.
That's interesting.
And unfortunately, the scope of that enchantment went pretty high in the sky back then, which for us now is the ground. So it still affects us because those enchantments weren't disenchanted, just buried.
So if we got underneath to this ruined city, we could disable the ruins that are causing the magic to go wonky?
I suppose if you know how to disenchant or cancel magical effects, I'd imagine so. And there were certain areas of the city that weren't enchanted for obvious reasons. And, you know, obviously the law enforcement of the time were able to cast magic as they so chose. So I'd imagine there's probably some way to avoid the effects as well. But I'd be damned if any of us know it yet.
So we're headed north.
Yeah, that's where I was going. You think that Cryo is headed to the excavation sites, maybe?
Possibility. If it's an entrance to the city, I would not doubt it.
Right.
What's he want with the city?
Don't know.
Well, why are you guys after him then?
Didn't Xandadar already say that Cryo was looking for an artifact?
Yeah.
We believe that the artifact that Cryo is looking for is lying within the Dwarven city somewhere. Not
Yep.
sure why he needs Droopy as well, but if he's anywhere, he'd probably be down in the city somewhere.
I mean, be damned if I know why he needed my goblin, but I mean, Droopy's pretty good at quite a bit of stuff, so it's hard to say. Maybe he needed some more muscle.
Or maybe he needed a sacrifice.
That son of a bitch. If he sacrifices my goblin, ooh, I tell you what. You know, I got in trouble this one time. Well, it was actually kind of Taylor did it. We killed some guy, and then we brought him back, and then we killed him again, and then we brought him back, and then we killed him again. It was pretty bad. I don't think we were ever supposed to do that again, but I might make an exception if this fucker kills Droopy. I'm pretty sure Taylor said he could bring somebody back to life about 12 times. So if he kills Droopy, I'm going to kill him 13 times. And then I'll start over the next day.
I thought Aiden said he was an undead lich.
Oh, that's
Do you know
even
how
better.
they kill a lich?
I don't know, but I've got at least 13 times a day to figure it out.
Damn it. By the way, did out of character, did Gostier search the giant?
Nah, he
He just
slaughtered
died.
it and then ran at you guys and hasn't paid attention to it since.
That tracks.
Can I go take a look at the giant?
Sure.
Ooh. I would like to look at the cats.
Okay.
I'm pulling out some acid. I'm putting my
God.
goggles on.
Oh God.
Alright, so let me pull these guys up real quick. So, the cats that you see, as Zanzidar could have pointed out, they are catamounts. They're large, broad-shouldered cats. Let's see. You didn't really get to see them in combat, so you're not sure what they can do. But they're pretty big. They are large. They are a large class. Yeah. And their front arms are actually, I'm trying to think of something. Like, you know how gorillas are built? Like, their front arms are huge?
Right.
Proportionally, that's kind of what these cats look like, too. Like, their back legs are stocky, but their front legs, their two front arms, are just a little bit longer than they should be, and they're extremely muscular.
Ooh.
And their front paws are twice as big as their back paws.
I need those for my hand room.
Sure.
So I'm going to try to acquire a couple paws and at least one skull.
Okay. Just make a, I guess, nature or survival or your dexterity check.
I'll do nature because that feels like it would fit with this. Ooh, that's not fantastic. 15.
Okay. And Aiden, you can roll investigation if you're looking through the giants.
Sure. I'm gonna use tactical assessment.
Yep.
As well.
15 is enough. You do get a couple of paws and you get one skull. It's not the best skull. It's got some cracks in it. It might be missing a couple teeth. But yeah, as you pull out your acid set and start
my
dissolving
bone cleaning set, whatever.
the fur and skin off of all this, it comes out fairly well.
She's just humming to herself. She's probably mostly dry from these desert winds, but
And your tactical assessment gives you what?
An extra D10 on top of my investigation roll. If Diana will
gotcha.
allow me to roll it, get to it. God damn it. Wow, fascinating. Maybe we all had time for one. Whatever. 21.
Okay. As you start to scour through them, you can see, being a little bit closer, that these creatures are some of the biggest giants you've seen, though they're not as thick as some of the giants you've seen. It's not that they're malnourished, they're just more tone than they are built. But they're very tall, very thin. You can see that they have this like rich walnut brown skin, and it's textured. It's like leathery, and you imagine it's probably from continuous exposure to sun. But from what's left of the couple that are there, split in half, de-armed, de-legged, de-headed, you gather that they had some gold on them. There were 4, 2, 5, 6. So there's about 100 pieces of gold. And that's a combination of gold, silver, bronze pieces, but altogether it's about 100 gold. And each of the 4 carried a large falchion.
What?
A falchion.
I don't remember how to spell that.
Falchion.
I was so close.
It is a curved blade. It's kind of like a scimitar, but it curves more at the end, and it's a very thick blade. And you would recognize that each of these falchions are too large for any of you to wield.
Doesn't stop me from trying to pick one up while I'm waiting for their fur to melt.
Yeah. They're heavy. You're able to pick them up.
Okay.
You're just... It would not be something that you would run into combat with. But they do appear to be made out of steel. And they're very large.
Okay. Aside from the falchion, any other pieces of equipment on them, or is it just that?
That's basically it. You see, most of their garb is just kind of this loose flowing desert robes. They don't have a lot of bags or things of that nature. Nothing with like writing, no food or provisions or anything like that. So you gather that this is probably only a portion of what's out here. Maybe they were scouts, maybe they were hunters. Yeah, they didn't seem to have a whole lot on them.
So they had no food or provisions. Is it possible that they were traveling from a nearby encampment or some other settlement that they wouldn't have needed to take food from since they haven't traveled too far or weren't planning on traveling too far?
I think that's an easy assumption. I'm not going to make you roll for that. It definitely seems like they weren't prepared for long travel. So wherever they're from is probably, at least for them, not a huge distance to cover. Though you would also recognize that they can cover much more land in a day than you can.
Are they large or huge creatures?
They are huge. But
Yeah,
you do
okay.
see that if you, like, looking at some of the cats' bodies as well, it looks like they would have the ability to ride the catamounts.
Oh wow, so these catamounts are real big.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah, the catamounts are large, so they take up like a 4x4 square on a map, and the giants are like just under a 3x3 square.
Hmm. All right then. Well, I got as much information as I could from this. Aiden's ready to start traveling north at this point.
What about Zan? Was there anything you're working on while they're out here scouring, collecting?
Just keeping an eye out for anything around.
See, Gostier kind of turns and looks at all of you. He's just kind of hanging out with you there, Zan, just kind of looking. It seems like he's kind of wiping himself off, getting the dust and dirt out. He says, well, guess if we're going to be travel companions, I could help out a little bit. He walks over to you, Callie, as you are finishing a couple of the paws and you're starting to work on this large skull. He says, you need some help with that?
I suppose.
Alright, stand back a second.
Oh.
You see he kind of rubs his belly and you hear him burp, and you watch as this explosion of acid comes out of his mouth
Oh.
and coats the head and
Oh.
starts to eat stuff. There you go. Give that a second.
Thank you.
You got it.
She's like trying to scoop up some of it back into her flask
Yeah.
so she can save it for later.
I can get you some more.
Really?
Yeah, I can do that about 6 times a day.
Wow.
Just get a bucket or something next time, and I'll let you keep it.
Okay. Hey, Aiden, we need to find a bucket
Why?
for Gostier's spit,
Why?
so I can melt things off Bones.
Right, don't be on the lookout for a bucket.
In the desert.
Love it. So Gostier walks back over to you, Zan. Says, alright, so I'm starting to piece this together. So it sounds like this Lord Cryo guy took Droopy, for God knows what reason. He's made his way into these desert ruins to the north to try and get some artifact. And so he's down there somehow, and you guys are headed there to try and stop him or get this artifact, I guess. But the one thing I haven't quite pieced together is, what's this have to do with hell?
So that's a different piece of the puzzle.
I'm not great at puzzles, but if you explain it, I'll do my best to keep up.
You know the Mirror of Dead Men?
Yeah, I've been through there once or twice, I think.
So there's this ginormous Hydra that lives there.
Ah, shit, I didn't kill it? That's a shame.
Well,
Alright, anyways.
if you kill it, then all the crap, that all the decay in the mirror will then spread.
Oh, alright, I'll leave it alone.
Yeah, apparently there's like a avatar of Tiamat in there.
Huh.
Different than the Tiamat locked up in hell, but that Tiamat wants us to go to hell to kill the other Tiamat.
I think I'm following.
Good, because I really wasn't. So that's why we're going to hell. Plus, one of our companions has like a bounty out on him.
Ooh.
Yeah. It's a little one. There's this devil after him.
Oh, that sounds fun.
You may not think so, but it's pretty hilarious. Hey, by the way, do you wanna pick a card while we're standing here?
I'm not much for card games.
Okay, just figure that out first.
Get Gostier to pull from the deck of many things.
Says, alright, I think I'm getting this together, but how do you plan on getting to hell? Is there something in these ruins?
I mean, I've heard rumors of a portal being opened up. Near Baldur's Gate. So there's that lead. Plus, there may be something in my hometown.
Huh. But where's your home? Which one's your hometown? There's a few out here.
Looking back at Zeros, no. Found it.
Mm-hmm.
I had to go way back though.
Yeah. Oh, all right. I know that one. And we're quite a ways out from that. We're gonna have to really use our feet and pick up the pace a little bit, but we could get there in a couple weeks.
So you don't have wings?
Not usually. I mean, I can fly for distances at a time. I don't have wings necessarily. I mean, not real wings at least. I can show you if you want.
Sure.
Alright. And you see him kind of like flex, and he kind of grunts, and you see as his body increases in size as he enters a rage. And as he does, he takes a step and then shoots off into the sky. What's his movement? 50?
More than that,
I think it's 60, so
it's a lot.
60 plus a dash, so he goes 120 feet out and lands. Almost like a giant jump. He goes out 120 feet. And then he turns around and does the same thing and comes back. He says, I can keep this up indefinitely. I just can't fly indefinitely.
You can do that indefinitely. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, as long as I'm raging, and I can pretty much rage whenever and as long as I want.
Yeah. I have these though, and I'll pop out my wings.
Yeah. I was gonna say, you did see like a spectral pair of feathered wings like eagles that sprouted out of his back and kind of glimmered for a moment.
That's cool.
Says, oh, those are pretty neat.
Yeah, I just kind of assume that all dragonborns get wings.
It depends.
So, yeah, so the only one who's really then slowing us down per se is our fighter.
Oh,
He can't move too quick.
well, that sucks. Should we just kill him?
No.
Damn. Alright. Should I carry him?
If you want. I mean, I'm not sure if his ego will allow for that, but you could certainly try.
He looks over towards Aiden and says, hey, human! Aiden, right?
No, don't carry me.
And we could go a lot quicker if I carried you.
Right, but if we get into a good old-fashioned brawl,
I'll just
you're not
throw
gonna
you
be
at
able
him.
to do really. No, that's exactly why I don't want you to carry me.
Trust me, it'll hurt a lot more if I use you.
No.
Mr. Gastier, sir, are you
Yeah.
sure you can carry him? Aiden's like 400 pounds.
He says, watch this. And he walks over to Aiden. You see him flex again. And he kind of gives out this grunt like, and then he just puts his hands around Aiden's waist and just bloop, right into the air.
It's the struggle.
Just lifts him right up. Yeah, this ain't too bad.
Wow.
Aiden, you are currently like dangling in his grasp. Like your legs are like 4 feet off the ground.
That's amazing.
And then he, as gently as he can, sets you back down on the ground. Yeah, I could do that for a while. Probably speed us up a little bit. And he kind of looks at you, Aiden, and he says, hey, back in the day, Droopy used to just ride piggyback. I could do that.
preferable to just throwing me at something.
I mean, I throw pretty hard. It'd get you in there real quick.
And also break my neck in the process.
Only if it's brittle.
Fine, just I'll ride on your back.
Alright. Well, that'll speed us up a little bit. Might save us a day or two.
Does this mean I can fly again?
Sure.
Yay!
Yay!
He looks back at you, Zan. He's like, alright, well, to Zerosnock we go, I guess, right?
I mean, if that's the closest excavation site you know of, then yeah. Or if there are places we need to check on the way.
Every excavation site's farther north than Zerosnock.
Okay.
They're all kind of in the same area up there. Like I said, that's where the taller buildings of the old city were.
Yeah.
I don't really know of any excavations outside of that area. Might take us a minute to pinpoint exactly which one we're looking for, but most of them about 3 to 5 days out from Zerosnock. Most of your archaeologists and stuff, they stay or report back to Zerosnock, so that makes a lot of sense.
Alrighty.
And there was some feller out there that used to run it. He was in charge of most of the excavations to the north. I'm trying to remember what his name was. He was a weird feller. He was a bird folk, I think. He was about your age now, I think. I don't remember his name, but we'll figure it out when we get there, I guess.
Ah. Okay.
Alright, well, north we go, I guess, right?
Yep.
Alrighty. You guys begin traveling north. And I think we'll go ahead and take a pee break here. And then we'll pick up with our rest and then the next day.
Alrighty.
So, I'll be right back. 'Cause I'm dancing a little bit. bringing us back in here. You guys have recently met up with the Dragonborn Gastier that you were looking for. Been acquainted, did a little talking, plotting, figuring out, and have allowed yourselves to team up with him as he seems to have a good idea of the area and is willing to lead you all to Zan's home, Zerosnak, and further into the excavations. You guys have trekked the rest of this day pretty successfully. He has helped you avoid quite a few turbulent areas and kept you on the right path. As you come to the end of this day, as the sun begins to set, Gastier eventually puts his hand up and calls for you all to hold. Lets Aiden down off of his shoulders as you guys have been almost like Superman jumping like 200 feet at a time. Flying, essentially. He kind of looks over at all of you and says, "Alright, well, it's probably about time we rest. It's gonna get freezing cold out here pretty soon. I'd be alright, but I don't know about the rest of all y'all, so I guess pitch a tent if you got it, or roll out your bedrolls, whatever you got."
Alrighty.
Bink kind of pipes up. "You want the mansion?"
Yeah.
"Alrighty." And he snaps his finger, and the doorway to Bink's mansion appears. And Gostier's kind of like, "Oh, hey, that's handy. I think I've seen one of those before." "Well, alright." You all step into Bink's mansion, which is appropriately adorned with a bunch of mini Binks, who immediately begin to start working on dinner preparations and things of that nature.
Yay.
As you all come into the dining area, Gastier kind of takes a seat and he looks over at all y'all and says, "Well, you all are an interesting party. The last time I saw most of you was I saw Bink, the little one. I saw you, Aiden. There was that cat guy. There was some lizard guy with you, and there was Lolly, the centaur. She stayed in my place for a little while. What happened to her?"
She's going on her own journey at the moment in the Feywild.
"Oh, alright. She seemed to be kind of the most honest of y'all."
Sounds like a drag.
Yeah, a little bit.
Oh, by the way, Bink, servant person, could you bring me some whipping cream and a case of sardines?
So he kind of runs off. Comes back a little while later with it.
Thank you. She tucks it in her bag.
Yeah. But Gastier kind of goes on and says, "Well, that's gonna be would have been mighty handy to have that centaur with us. She was like a holy person, wasn't she?
Yeah.
Especially if you're dealing with liches and shit like that. But I guess you, Zan's it all right.
Mm-hmm.
You got something holy about you too, don't you?"
Do I? I never really noticed.
Well, you kind of give off the essence a little bit, kind of like Taylor.
What's it look like?
Helpful.
Oh. Yeah, no, that couldn't be me.
Oh. Well, we're pretty much screwed then. Guess we're gonna have to figure out how to kill a lich without holy magic. I don't know that I've done that before, but you know what? We'll figure it out. Worst case scenario, we just keep killing them. You know what I mean?
Right. Although we do have dimension shackles, So I don't know if that would work.
Who's that?
It's you know, like handcuffs.
Those
So we
don't
can
work
cuff
on me,
him.
so I'm not really familiar.
Yeah, we just put him in jail, and I guess allow you to keep killing him.
Alright.
Because I don't know what to do with a lich.
Well, shit.
We've come across actually quite a few of them. 3, 4. This land's almost infested with liches, so if we figure out how to kill one of them, might as well kill the rest too, right?
Yeah, I mean, as far as I know, there's no such thing as a good lich.
Is it weird to ask for someone's autograph before you kill them?
No, might be worth more when they're dead.
Interesting.
Alright, whose autograph you want?
I don't know. I just have always been fascinated by liches. But if you're gonna kill them all, I can't very well enjoy them while they're alive. Or undead. But maybe an autograph would be a nice memory piece.
Gastier looks at you, Zan. She's a little creepy, ain't she?
Yeah.
What's the story with her? Why's she with you?
Apparently she joined the Scaly Eyes, and then they sent her to me. So she's kind of my apprentice.
Huh. That's cool. I like the scaly eyes. That motherworm's kind of neat.
Yes, that's exactly the word I would use to describe her. Sneak.
Well, they tried to get me to join, but I forgot to go back and tell them yes, so I don't know if I'm a part of it or not. I've had a lot going on.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, yeah.
Well, for now, we'll just make you an honorary member.
Works for me. Well, tell me about your adventures, I guess. What have y'all been up to since I saw you?
Let's see. We killed quite a few fiend orcs recently. So that was the thing.
Huh.
Yeah, that was in the battle for Aiden's hometown.
That's kind of fun.
Mm-hmm. I tried to set him up with the queen, but it didn't take.
Well, that'd be kind of neat, right? Be best friends with the king.
Yeah, I thought so.
He's just over there rubbing his fucking temples.
Let's see, what else? Oh, in the Temple of Miracle, we faced a skeletal lord. Weird thing with 3 heads.
Do you want to see them?
Sure.
Alright, Calliope will pull out the skull of the Skull Lord. Skulls of the Skull Lord.
Oh, those are pretty neat.
I think so too.
Well, that sounds like it'd be a fun fight.
It really wasn't.
Well, yeah, that's unfortunate.
Yeah, we had one of our party members die.
I know what that's like.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, somebody killed Droopy once.
I thought Droopy was the strongest out of your group.
Oh, he is. It was interesting. I mean, Taylor brought him back real quick, and I ripped the guy limb from limb while he was still breathing.
Eddie didn't like that too much.
Oh, I certainly hope not. That was the intention. He fucked with my goblin.
Oh.
Yeah, nobody punches harder than Droopy does. I'm a little better at staying alive than he is, but trust me, you don't want to take a hit from that goblin. Woo, buddy.
And I remember if Lolly ever talked about her fights with Droopy or not.
Would she have?
You can't imagine she would have brought that up without being asked directly.
Right.
So probably not.
Well, I'll take your word for it. It's just I can't imagine how he got kidnapped if he's just so strong.
Well, you see, here's the thing about Droopy. He
Bless
got
his heart.
charmed by a succubus,
Oh,
and he damn near fell in love with that ugly bitch. It wasn't a good thing. He doesn't have a lot of brains. I mean, neither do I. I can't really talk a whole lot, but it doesn't take much to get in his head.
oh, okay. So he's easily manipulated then.
Eh. Yeah, but you better hope to gosh he doesn't figure out you done did it. Because if he gets out of it and he figures out you fucked with his head, whoo, buddy. I'll tell you one thing for sure, you're gonna wish you had a healer.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
So what's the weirdest thing you've fought so far?
The weirdest thing I've fought. I don't know, I fought some pretty weird things. I fought a bunch of giants. I fought a weird giant frost giant lady that was casting spells. I fought a bunch of little mind flayer type guys. Some other giant. I've been a lot of giants. Oh, there was that one weird brain dragon guy.
A brain dragon.
Yeah, it was a brain dragon. It was kind of like what they say, like you know what an elder brain is?
Yeah.
It's like that, but it had wings and a head, like a dragon.
Where'd you fight it? Under Neverwinter?
No, it wasn't under Neverwinter. It was a little ways out there. Yeah, no, it wasn't under Neverwinter. I ain't been to Neverwinter very much. No.
It's overrated, if you ask me.
Yeah, probably. But yeah, I mean, most recently I slaughtered a bunch of fire giants that were making slaves out of dwarves and goblins, and that's where the 100 goblins came from. I brought them back home. fought a
Oh.
bunch of, what they call them, yak folk that like to transform into things, and kept people as slaves and made them be naked. It was kind of weird.
Yeah, that certainly sounds very interesting.
Yeah, before that I fought a bunch of cloud giants and I stole their city and parked it behind Fandolin. Then I couldn't bring myself to kill the kid, so I brought the uncle back to life, and now he's taking care of the kid, and eventually I guess they'll get the Cloud Kingdom back. But that's where all the goblins are. They're working on taking care of the castle.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah, that was a little weird.
Calliope is making a mental note to the next time she writes to her dad. Mention that someone might want to go check on Fandolin.
Yeah.
Right.
He's like, well, the whole reason that even got started is because a bunch of them cloud giants came down and started attacking Fandolin. I wasn't too happy about that, so, you know, we took care of business.
Is this cloud giant civilization still behind Fandolin, or did you park it somewhere else afterward?
No, it's still behind Fandolin. There's only two of them there, the uncle and the baby. I killed the rest of them.
Oh.
Probably didn't need
So-
to, but
Basically, you're gonna end up with crossbreeding then.
no,
'Cause
there's
if
more.
These giants come out of their home into Fandolin. Probably gonna happen.
I don't think that's really going to work very well for them. But I mean, the assumption here is that when the kid's old enough to take back the city, they'll probably start doing their own thing. But there's other cloud giants in the world, and they're not bad people. And I guess the uncle's reaching out to them to get some more people to come in and help out. And, you know, they do their own thing or whatever. I mean, far be it from me to say you're not allowed to fall in love with a cloud giant, but good luck.
It just sounds painful.
Probably. Well, anyways, I'm gonna take a dump and go to bed.
Yeah.
And he stands up and walks away.
Okay, see ya.
Calliope stretches and yawns and says, I think I'm gonna turn in early too. Good night.
Good night.
Anybody else have anything before bed?
Try and reach out to Polychronos. See if I can still sense his whereabouts.
You can make a religion check.
$16.
Okay. Not much has changed. You're still getting some faint feelings of heading north, but it's still hard to really pick anything up.
DM me something, Chris.
Sure.
Get something very fast.
Cool. I gotcha. Alright. So beyond that, you guys are headed to bed?
Yep.
Alright.
Mm-hmm.
Anything during the evening? Alright. And you all managed to go through a very peaceful sleep. Nothing really disturbs any of you that you pick up on. You all can hit the long rest button.
All right.
You wake up the next morning feeling pretty refreshed, and you walk downstairs to start having some breakfast. A little time goes by, and eventually Gastier joins you, and you all munch on whatever you would like to order from the servants. But it brings you to the beginning of day 4. Is there any conversations you want to have?
I don't have anything personally.
Calliope would probably continue showing Gastier her collection of things. Like the spikes from the sandworms and the scorpion.
He kind of marvels over each other. He's like, oh, that's pretty cool. That's a lot of fun. I keep collectibles a lot of the times too when I kill stuff.
See, these guys think it's weird.
Huh. Well, there ain't nothing wrong with being a little weird.
That's what I always say.
Why would you want to carry around extra stuff that you just don't need?
Why not? I got a house to fill up with stuff.
Also, this bag never weighs more than 15 pounds. But, to be fair, this is my first time being out for this long. Usually I have more chances to drop everything off and start fresh, you know?
I get that.
Anything on the horizon?
Well, a bunch of walking, I guess. Are you all ready?
Are we
Sure.
walking?
Well, flying, you know.
Okay, good.
Cover as much ground as we can. Well, let's get going then, I guess. He steps out of the mansion. Y'all following?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Alrighty. So he grabs Aiden, puts him on like a backpack. Alright. Let's get going. And you head north. So, for your 4th day of travel, somebody who has not yet would like to roll a d20 for me.
I can go.
Hi.
Brr, 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 brr. 13. That seems appropriate from Calliope.
Awesome. Roll a d10.
Oh boy. Four.
Okay. So, your day goes by pretty smoothly for a while. Nothing super of note. And then eventually you see what appears to be some sort of cave entrance or opening. Being up in the air, you can't really see a whole lot, but it looks like there's some movement. Like some humanoid type shapes or figures are moving in and out of it. And it looks like there's like a small setup outside, like maybe a small building or something. But you see these creatures, whatever they are, humans, you assume, you can't tell, you're still a little ways off. Just kind of making trips. Looks like they're going into whatever this cave-like system is. You all see this, and Gostier kind of points it out too. He's like, "Hey, oh, that's new. I don't remember that being here, but it's been a while. Maybe I was wrong. Maybe there is an excavation south of the city. Y'all want to take a look?"
Sure. I mean, the worst that it could be again would be in our slime.
Yeah, that's true.
In which case, if we find water, drink it.
I'll think about it.
Don't drink it.
No worries.
Start flying down towards it.
Okay. As you guys get closer and closer, you can see that whatever this cave system is, it's a large, dark-mouthed opening that appears to have like some like steam coming out of it, or smoke. As you get closer, it doesn't smell like smoke, so it seems more like some sort of steam or mist. And as it drifts kind of out and away as you guys are flying, and you kind of connect with a little bit of it, it definitely is like a moist. It's making like condensation on your skin. But as you get a little bit closer, you kind of see these figures, and it's interesting. You see two buildings set up, and you see they look just kind of like little houses. Like one of them is like maybe 10 feet by 10 feet, and the other one's like probably like 30 by 30, and it looks like 2 stories. And you see this series of figures walking out of the bigger house, the 2-story house. They look humanoid in form. You see some males and some females, humans, elves, a couple dwarves and halflings, kind of very carefully or very slowly like walking out of the main house, and then they walk into the smaller house. And then a few moments go by and you see them re-emerge from the smaller house wearing nothing and walking into the cave system with like a towel over their shoulder. Gostier kind of looks at all of you and says, "Well, that's a little weird. I guess that's not an archaeological site. Maybe a hot spring? What do y'all think?"
I'd say we check it out.
All right. So you all start making your way there.
Yep.
As you do, you all see, you get within probably about 50 or 60 feet, and it doesn't seem like any of these creatures react to you. They all seem to just kind of be doing their own thing. You see every now and then somebody emerge from the house, enter the smaller room, and then exit and head into the cave system. You see a few people come out of the cave system and head into the small house. Then they emerge fully clothed and walk back into the big house. You're not sure how they got here. You don't see any like camels or carts or anything that would suggest that they caravanned here in any way, shape, or form. Just kind of in this building.
One of you go check the building. I'm gonna go walk into the cave.
You sure we want to split up here?
seems harmless enough.
Yes, and what we thought was a simple oasis turned out to be the very body of a gigantic ooze. So, very clearly that nothing in the desert is as it seems at the moment.
Okay, so what would you suggest instead?
Until we can actually gauge whether or not they're as harmless as they seem, I don't feel comfortable with us splitting ourselves. That's the main priority for me in my case.
Oh, okay. Well, let's see. Hello there!
Start shooting fireballs at our asses.
As you shout this out, Zan, you don't see any immediate reaction.
Must not have heard me.
Or they're zombies.
Fucking cast thaumaturgy and start screaming like a goddamn megaphone.
Does it look like there's decay on their bodies or anything like that?
You'd have to get a little bit closer to see. You can make a perception check from here, but it'd be with disadvantage.
Okay. Try it. 12.
It's hard to tell. You know, either they're fully clothed or they're naked, and it's kind of shimmering, so it's hard to really pick anything up.
I'll start walking over towards the people.
Okay. As you start to get a little bit closer, you start to feel... You feel compelled. You feel pulled to this area. I'd like you to make a wisdom saving throw for me.
There's a theme here. A theme.
Natural 20 on that.
Hey.
Okay. Yeah, that's it then. You just feel like... I mean, you feel like you want to explore this area. It looks neat. It looks interesting, but you're not compelled in any way. It's just... It just feels like there's some sort of pull to this area, but you're not really affected by it necessarily.
Coast is clear, guys. Come on.
Okay.
God damn it.
God damn it.
Don't tell anybody. Well,
I'm looking for friends. I can't. Like.
alright.
You see...
You
You see Gostier kind of pulls out a lawn chair and sets it down. Says, I'll keep watch.
Okie dokie.
I'm following Zanzidar. He's my boss right now, so.
We can tell these people about the oasis that we saw.
Sure.
God.
So, Callie and Aiden, as you get a little bit closer, you also kind of feel... You start to feel this natural pull, this curiosity, this sparking in the back of your mind about this area. I'd like you both to make wisdom saving throws for me.
Is this a charm
Is
effect
this-
or a spell? Or either. Or no, neither.
It is an ability.
Is it magical in nature?
Let me see. Give me a second here. Okay. If you can't be charmed, you succeed on it automatically.
I can be charmed, I just have advantage.
Then you would still have to make the save.
Yep.
You would have advantage on this.
Okay.
And as far as the spell shield... It's not a spell being cast at you, it's more of an ability of the area, so I'm going to say he does not grant advantage in this situation.
Is it still a magical effect? Is it also protects against magical effects? It doesn't have to be just a spell. If it's magical in nature, I can roll it with advantage against it.
Yeah, I'll give it to you then. It's just like an area thing.
Sorry, we're making it so hard to charm us.
That's okay. I already got Zan, that's so.
Right?
Eat the food. Eat the food. Okay, 23 for Aiden.
Okay. So yeah, you guys you feel drawn to the place. You were definitely curious about it, but nothing compelling you, nothing forcing you to do anything. It's interesting, and it looks, the more you look at it, the more inviting it seems.
That's the DM's way of saying the DC's gonna get harder.
See, I told you this was a cool place.
I'd like it. What does it smell like?
Right now, it doesn't smell like much.
Okay.
Can I get anybody's attention?
Actually, I lied. It does have a smell.
Oh.
It smells like lavender bath oils.
Ooh. A little flowery for my preference.
What is it? Too lively?
Exactly.
Of course it is.
Zan was asking if he got anyone's attention.
Oh, as you get a little bit closer, you do see one female. Kind of looks like an elf. Step out of the main house, still clothed. You see they have this very flowing, like flowery robe on. But they do turn and catch your eye, and they start to walk towards you. Does anybody speak Sylvan?
Sure.
Nope.
Nope.
You hear this kind of whimsical musical voice just kind of come over the air like, "Oh, hello, friends. Welcome to our sauna." In Sylvan.
Hello. Thank you.
Do you wish to partake in cleansing your pores?
Ooh. That seems like a fairly personal question. So she'll turn to the group. She's saying that this is a sauna and is wondering if we would like to partake in cleansing our pores.
What's it cost?
What does it entail?
What does it cost? In more ways than one.
It doesn't cost a thing, dear. We are simply enjoying nature as nature provides for us. It is no charge. Simply
Since we're
enjoying it.
sorry.
Go ahead.
I was saying, since we're much closer to the other people now, can I roll insight on them
Sure.
to see if they're acting of their own accord, if there's something more sinister at play?
Sure.
Yeah, 18.
Okay. Yeah, it's kind of hard to tell. Most of them seem to be enjoying it. As far as you can tell, it doesn't look like anybody is like shooting you side-eyed looks. Nobody is like silently begging for help. It just looks like a small, no necessary order to it, but group of people that are, from what you can tell, living in this house and enjoying whatever natural sauna amenities might be within the cave.
So what's all involved in this treatment? Do you have to stay here too?
Ah.
Is it like an overnight thing?
Only if you want it to be. You can spend as little or as much time as you want. There's steam chambers, mud baths, masseuses.
Does everything smell like lavender?
No, that's just the most common scent. There's many to choose from, especially when you get the massage. You can choose your oil. Oh, it's delightful.
Ooh. I will be relaying basically verbatim, so I don't have to keep
Okay.
repeating myself. Well, if there is something she doesn't say exactly, that's what I'll clarify.
Mm-hmm.
So how about I do the sauna thing, and then you guys can come see the oasis that we passed by.
Oh, well, there's certainly interest in an oasis. Perhaps we could make it some sort of day trip. You know, link ourselves to the oasis. Offer 2 services in the area. That could be wonderful.
Yep, sounds like a deal to me. Let's do this.
Well, right this way. And she begins to lead you all over to the small house, the smaller building.
Mm-hmm.
She says, go in as you will. There are amenities within. Most of our guests and most of us that live here choose to go all natural. We have nothing to hide from each other, but you are more than welcome to conceal what you wish. There is an assortment of bathing suits and other type amenities within here. You can go as a group, you can go one at a time. I can tell others not to enter while you're in there if you prefer privacy.
What do we want to do?
Well, I was thinking a massage sounded nice.
Okay. I'm gonna go with the sauna. Don't care for a massage.
After all this heat, you want more?
Why not?
The first time ever, Calliope looks a little concerned for Zanzibar. Well, you enjoy that. What about you, Aiden?
I think I may sit this one out.
Your loss.
This elvish being looks kind of over towards you, Aiden, and begins to speak in common. She says, apologies, I didn't realize you didn't recognize my tone. You are safe here. You are more than welcome to enjoy any amenities, even if all you want to do is take your boots off and get a foot massage. There's plenty of things to be done in there. Don't feel the need to leave yourself out of fulfillment. And our services are quite wonderful, and you look so terribly hot and dreary in that armor.
Maybe some other time.
She says, well, I think you would really rather enjoy maybe just a mani-pedi. And I'd like you to make a wisdom saving throw.
Oh boy.
Is a magic effect?
Yes.
Okay. With advantage, that is a 24.
Okay. You feel for a moment compelled to follow their words, but then you kind of shake it off and you don't feel like you have to, but at least you felt that there was a little extra push there to get you to enjoy the services, but you're able to stave it off for now.
You seem awfully persistent.
Oh, absolutely. Insistent that everybody should have a wonderful time. It's such a dreadful place, this desert. And we have found our own bit of paradise within it. Why not share it with all who come? We would be remiss if we didn't do our best to try and help you.
Well, that is appreciated. I'm no stranger to the dreary senses. I won't stop my party from enjoying the time that they will have earned while wandering through this hellish landscape.
All right.
Somebody has to look after them while they're taking care of themselves.
No worries. You may wait out here then. Certainly wouldn't recommend going in with all that armor on. It would rust very quickly in the environment underneath. So, she turns back to Callie and Zan. The room is yours. Get changed or dressed how you please, and I will escort you to your destinations.
All right.
So, Zan, how are you dressing for the occasion?
Yeah, probably just underwear.
Okay. Then go ahead and remove all your armor on your player sheet for me.
Yep.
Are you taking any armaments with you?
What do you mean?
Like, are you taking your
Weapons.
staff or your weapons? And as you enter, you see it's kind of like a locker room. Like, there's a space set aside where you could leave your stuff in the room. Or you could put it in your own bags and take it with you.
Say I'll keep my dagger on me. Everything else is coming off except for my boots of speed.
Okay. So you step back out with a dagger in the waistband of your whitey tighties and your boots on.
Yep.
What an image.
Quite a sight. And she gestures to you, Callie. The room is yours. How is Callie going to dress for the occasion?
She will borrow a swimsuit or some other, like a robe or something.
Yep.
I don't think she's taken anything. Oh, I guess she will also leave her shoes on.
Okay.
But yeah.
So, what type of bathing suit would Callie pull from the shelves? There's
Is there a black
Any.
one?
Mhm.
A black one piece with a very high neckline.
Mhm.
Maybe she even would find one with like a white Peter Pan collar.
Sure. You step back out in your one piece and boots.
The sand's hot.
Yeah. So she kind of gestures to the two of you. Says, "All right. Well, wonderful. Follow me this way, if you please."
Alrighty.
And as she begins to lead you guys down this cave tunnel-like entrance, you first find yourself in a room. It's still very cave-like, but you can see there's a bunch of steam coming in here from all these other caverns and chambers, and it's just kind of filling the area. And you feel, I mean, you already felt hot, but now you feel like moist, and you instantly start to sweat. But the sweat evaporates so quickly, it actually feels pretty nice. Like, after a few moments, the steam actually feels like it's cooling you more than it's warming you up. But she points to 3 different chambers before you, 3 immediate offshoots. She points to the one to the left. She says, "That is our steam room, kind of the sauna. If you wish, Mr. Dragonborn, you may open the door there and have a seat on the bench. We recommend not staying more than maybe an hour or so, and may begin to prune or have some troubles getting back up or breathing, or might get a little exhausted. I'll have a timer just in case. I'll come check on you if need be."
Okay.
And as you push open the door and step into this room, you can see that it's a decent sized room. It's probably 20 by 20 or so. And there's just like a row of benches that kind of encapsulate the outside area. There's nobody else in here at the moment, but you can see where some people have been through. You can see some sweat spots where people have sat, and you can very easily pick a seat on the bench that doesn't appear to have been sat in recently.
Ew.
But there's like a brazier in the middle that's full of like these hot coals, and you can see water that is like kind of very slowly trickling down from the ceiling and hitting these coals and just kind of like evaporating immediately. But the whole room seems to be almost like a waterfall. Like it takes you a second to realize why the walls are moving, but you can see these little slits at the top around this wall where just this very thin sheet of water is pouring down the side, down the walls. And you can sit against the wall, and as you do, a little bit of water, like a waterfall, just kind of cascades around you, and it's warm, but it's still got this like cooling effect overall. As you just sit there and breathe and take in this moist, warm, sauna-like air.
Lovely.
Oh yeah.
And then, Callie, you are pointed to the next room. She says, "This is our massage chamber. Welcome to whatever type of massage you prefer. We have masseuses on staff." She says, "I believe you are the only person booked at the moment. Quite a few of our other guests are off in the mud baths, or we do have, it is buffet time, so we have a small buffet set up in the far chambers. A lot of our guests are there now. So you will probably have the masseuse all to yourself. Lucky you."
Wonderful.
She pushes open the door, and you see before you, still pretty steamy in here. Not quite sauna-esque. Not getting the sweat treatment. But you do see before you like a masseuse table. It's very medieval. It's just kind of like a wooden table with like a place to put your head at one end, and there's some soft cushions set up, and you see another female. This one looks like a Goliath.
Oh.
Got some pretty sturdy hands. She looks over at you and says, "Oh, are you my next?
Yes.
Hop on up, darling.
Alrighty.
Hope you're ready for a de-stress." And she cracks her knuckles.
You got it. No one's here to see Calliope cringe just a little.
The elf just kind of shuts the door, and you place yourself on this massage table, and this Goliath just starts going at your back, and it feels good. Like you feel like the pops and the cracks and the stretching. And it goes on for a little while. Jump back to Aiden. As you are watching your friends go in, you still see this assortment of people heading in and heading out. A couple minutes go by, and the elf that led your friends in steps back out. She says, well, your friends are currently being treated to. Your Dragonborn is enjoying our sauna. I've set a timer to check on him in an hour. The creepy girl is currently enjoying a masseuse. One of our best, honestly. Her name is Britt, and she is a Goliath. She has the best hands here. She is in wonderful spirits today. I imagine this will be her best massage ever. Are you sure I can't entertain you? We have a buffet inside if you just wanted to have something to eat. You know, we have lounging areas where you can still enjoy the steam. Or you can sit out here in the hot, blistering sun.
I think I find my own form of entertainment for the time being. There's certainly plenty of people here to talk to. I'd be interested to see how they've had their own personal experiences here.
Oh, certainly. You may have your choosing. Converse with whomever you want. It's not a problem for me. Well, should you need anything, raise your hand, and I or one of the other attendees will certainly come to you quickly. She begins to trot off. So as they are enjoying their massage and sauna, what are you looking at doing?
Taking a closer look at the people that are here, because it's very strange how none of them have really noticed another person's presence.
Mm-hmm.
So, you're gonna try to make conversation with them, see how they respond. If they do respond, he's gonna roll insight on them. If they don't respond, he's gonna roll insight on them, because
Okay.
and at that point it's a red flag.
Sure. Are you just walking up to the nearest individual that you see? Or do you want to pick out a particular race or person?
We'll start with just a random selection to start off.
Okay. Naked or clothed?
Preferably clothed.
Okay. So you watch as you just kind of, you just wait for a moment. You keep an eye on the changing room, and you see the first thing that steps out. Basically, you see a very stout male dwarf. He's stepping out. You see him. He's got like a comb. He's kind of combing his hair back and starts to push it back and starts to weave his beard a little bit. As you get a little bit closer to him, you see him tugging on it. He says, "Oh, hello there. Well, you're not enjoying yourself."
Yes, I'm still trying to feel everything out, per se. Trying to get the opinions of everyone else around here, how they feel about this place and the experiences they had. It might help me make up my mind.
He's about like halfway through like braiding the first couple braids on his beard, and he stops. "Oh, it's wonderful. You know, I was out here adventuring. And, well, you know, it hasn't been that long, maybe a week or so. And I was hot, and I happened to see this place, and the lady in the place, Sylvia, the elven lady, I believe you were talking to her a little bit ago, invited me in, said free of charge, and well, I just haven't felt the need to leave necessarily. I love it here. It's all locally sourced, and all the food is grown within the gardens, down within the chambers, and I guess a lot of people would call it like a commune, right? But it's open to the public. Yeah, it's amazing. It's wonderful. I imagine I'll probably stay. I don't have any pressing business. I was just wandering, so I imagine I'll stay a little while longer before I head somewhere else. But I mean, it's amazing out here in the desert to find something like this.
I see. And he's gonna test it here a little bit. You said you were traveling here for a month, correct?
For a month?
Goodness, that must... Yes, that's what you told me.
I haven't been here for a month. Like a week tops.
You swore? You could have sworn you told me a month. Either way, that sounds like a rather dreadful time traveling through this heat.
Yeah, if I said a month, that's my apologies. It wasn't that long. No, it's, I mean, yeah, the heat absolutely is horrible, but, you know, I was a part of the excavation up in Zayasnok. You know, I worked in the, up to the north a little bit there, some of those archaeological places. I was working there before it got bought out by some other hootin' feller, and, well, we all got laid off, so... Really, I got nothing to do anyway, so I thought maybe I'd head for Neverwinter and see if I could find work. And I happened across this place, and, well, shit, it's free. Why wouldn't I?
So I would like to roll insight in him when I tried to see if he sounded confident when I tried to trick him into seeing if he knew how long exactly he was actually here for.
Sure, roll an insight.
Yeah, it's only a 13.
Okay. It's kind of hard to read. It seemed like he thought about it for a second, but he seemed pretty confident about it. And with his story, you would also know that it has only been maybe a couple weeks since the excavation operation shifted ownership. So his story, timeline-wise, matches pretty well, you know, given, you know, if the change of ownership happened 2 or 3 weeks ago, and you've still got another week and a half before you make it to Zayaslok, this is probably about as far as he would have gotten if he left right after he got fired.
So, when you were laid off, you said you went to Neverwinter first, correct?
I was headed there before I found this place.
Good fortune for you, I suppose.
Well,
How long do you plan on staying here before you resume your trip to Neverwinter?
Well, I don't want to overstay my welcome. Maybe a couple more days, but you know, I eat quite a bit, and I try my best to help out in the gardens too, but I'm not much of a gardener, and I don't want to wear out my welcome. You know, maybe someday I'll make my way back up here and stop by again. I'm gonna make sure I'm welcome then too.
I see. Speaking of which, what can you tell me about Sylvia?
Well, what do you want to know? She's a beautiful elf. She works in massage parlors sometimes.
Yes, it's, from my experience, sometimes looks are a little bit deceiving, but I don't want to immediately ping someone as coercive, I suppose, without understanding more about them. That would be awfully rude of me.
Well, I get that. Yeah, I'm sure she's not a bad person. She kind of runs most of the people around here. Like I said, she works the massage parlor from time to time. She oversees the gardens and most of the serving staff and the people that prepare the food and things like that. But I mean, I wouldn't say she's necessarily anybody's boss. It's just you know, a lot of the people that are calling this place home kind of look to her for guidance and leadership. You know, I imagine she might be the oldest, or at least carries some amount of authority because of that.
It's good to know. Alright then.
Well,
So-
and she and the other hands made this home for the rest of us that want to stay for a while. It's kind of like an inn, I guess you could say, because the rest of them live down in one of the caves. So
I see. You said they live down in the caves?
yeah, like I said, there's a few rooms. The first couple rooms when you go in are the services. They're the sauna and the massage parlor, and then there's the mud rooms. But past the mud rooms, there's the brunch room, you know, kind of the buffet area. And then once you go a little bit further back, it's kind of the quarters where all of them stay.
I see. Well, that's all good to know. I appreciate you letting me bother you for a little while, but I won't take up any more of your time enjoying this.
Sure.
He will issue a polite goodbye, and then we will keep it moving.
Okay.
So far he's managed to gather at least that it didn't look like he was under some kind of trance, per se, I guess, and his timeline matches up with how long he's been here, and he's coherent enough to know how long he's been here, and when he plans to leave.
Mm-hmm.
So Aiden's a little bit confused now. Especially since I'm assuming he can feel this minor numbing in the back of his head still. Like that was trying to get him to relax when he first walked in here.
Not as much. It seems to have faded. You know, whatever it was just an initial buzz. Doesn't seem to really be affecting you at this point.
You might look for somebody else to talk to and get their opinion.
Okay.
This time we're gonna look for a specific. We're gonna look for a human this time around.
Okay. Well, it takes a couple more people. You manage to pick out a human. This time a female who is walking out of the inn and kind of she sees you looking and makes eye contact. Oh, you're not going in yet?
I'm still on the fence about it, I suppose. I'm not sure how I feel about this place just yet. I don't know. I'm trying to gather opinions of those around me, see how they feel about this place before I set my feet down. I'm not used to seeing such a place like this, especially in somewhere as, well, as much of a wasteland as it is out there in the desert. It's, I guess, unsettling for someone like me. Not what I'm used to.
Well, I can understand that. You're sure missing out, though. It's wonderful in there. And it's brunch time. I'm just about to head to the buffet myself.
Interesting. So they not only offer sauna services, but they also offer food and, I guess, somewhere to rest?
Yeah, they set up this inn for us, and there's usually a buffet about 3 times a day. They grow all of their own food, and they make it. You know, it's wonderful. There's no meat, though. You know, you can't really grow meat in a cave, but, you know, there's plenty of substitutes, and it's amazing.
I see. And how long would you say you've been here for?
I've been here for about a week. Maybe just under.
I see. Where were you originally heading when you found this place? Or did you hear about it from someone else?
Oh, no. I was I was part of a caravan with, well, we were a goods and services delivery. We were headed from, well, I guess our last stop was Neverwinter, but we had gone through Baldur's Gate and a couple other places in between, and somebody had mentioned something about this place. And while our caravan was coming pretty close, we were headed to a couple stops out here in the desert. And I had some vacation days, some time off, so I asked them if they'd drop me off and let me hang out at the spa, and they could pick me up on their way back through. They said it'd be about 2 or 3 weeks. They had a few stops in the desert, so I guess you could call it I'm taking my vacation here.
Interesting. Can you tell me more about this caravan, if you don't mind?
Well, there's not much to tell about them. They deliver goods and services and supplies all across the Sword Coast. We're stationed in Baldur's Gate, that's where our corporate office is, or our headquarters, or whatever you want to call it. And Baldur's Gate's one of the biggest trading central to the Sword Coast, and we ship out a lot of our goods and stuff all across the border, and sometimes even overseas. But you can't just teleport everything, so you hire people like me to drive wagons and deliver it.
I see. And the I guess, quote-unquote leader of this place, Sylvia, what can you tell me about her? What's your opinion?
Well, not much. She's a wonderful gal. I don't talk to her a whole lot. I'm too busy enjoying the services, but, she gives a great massage. And she makes a wonderful tiramisu.
I see. Well, I appreciate you answering my questions. It's really helped me a little bit to try to understand a little more about this place. I appreciate that.
Sure thing. I'm off to brunch. Hopefully I'll see you there.
Enjoy yourself.
Quickly kind of hikes up her skirt and starts running towards the changing room to do whatever she wants to head into the area.
Okay. I will try one more person, but for the sake of time, since I want my other friends over here to enjoy themselves, he would ask the same amount of questions that he's asked with the last people and see how they respond. And see if there's a pattern.
Okay. Very similarly, I would say you probably find next somebody that's been here for a while. You get somebody that has been for like a month or more, and they the only difference is they mention that they are trying to see if they could become a part of the commune and live within the caves and help out more, and they haven't been told no yet, but just that they need to find something like a position. They need to find him a job before they say yes, you can stay here indefinitely.
You would ask in case how long has he been waiting?
Only a couple days.
For them to okay.
Yeah, only it's basically like he applied for a job here and he's just waiting to hear back.
Okay. This makes Aiden still a little bit confused. Because it doesn't seem like anyone is like charmed to stay here, I guess, in a sense.
Mm-hmm.
It's very confusing for him. How long has it, have they just, after I talked to these people, how long has it been since the other party members would have been in the cave?
You're probably coming up on like the first half hour or so.
Okay. None of them kept their sending stones, did they?
What's a sending stone?
God damn it.
Zan would be the only one to even have one.
Did Zan keep a sending stone?
I'm gonna say probably not.
I did not.
Unless he shoved it in his underwear. He didn't have anywhere to hold it.
Got a nice bulge going, right?
Yeah,
God damn it.
for the first time. I mean,
Jesus. Then I guess. Well, he's gonna try to talk to the main woman, Sylvia, but you can switch it over to the other two. I think I've taken enough time on my end to start.
yeah, we'll jump over. So, Zan, you are currently sitting in the sauna. About the first 20 or 30 minutes go by, and you're feeling really good. You know, you've got the waterfall on your back, and it's very relaxing. Is there anything? You're still kind of just here on your own, but is there anything you'd like to do, or are you just enjoying?
No, I'm just chilling out.
Okay. And your time continues to go. And Callie, you are about 30 minutes into your massage, and you are feeling it at this point. And the masseuse, this Goliath, kind of stops for a second and pulls back. She says, "All right, well, that's about it for the back and the lower back and the upper back, kind of your neck section. Now I've got some services I could do for like your legs and your feet. It looks like you probably travel a lot. Would you like me to work on those?"
Well, sure.
All right. Well, let's get some massage oil on your back here. We usually slap that on last so the scent lasts a little bit longer. What smell would you like, dear?
Ooh, do you have anything musty? Or
Well, that's a new one. I got dirt.
no, I don't think that's quite what I'm looking for. What about something like a mahogany or like a teak wood?
She kind of looks at her. She's like, "Well, yeah, I've got teak. I've got old books. I've got dandelions. I've got teak tree. That's not bad."
Sure, that sounds great.
All right. She kind of smears that on your back and your neck.
Tell me, has anyone actually used dirt?
Oh, there's a couple of orcs that come through.
Oh,
They love the smell of dirt.
Sure.
Don't ask me why, but they always get dirt. So I keep some.
Calliope is now contemplating whether that smell has been intentional all these years.
She says, "All right, well, we got to switch stations if you want the legs, so hop on up."
Okay.
As you stand up, she kind of just, you don't, everything that you see in here, all you see right now are the like tables with the holes in it.
Sure.
Right, so as you stand up, she kind of gives the table a slap. She slaps it twice, and you watch as the table itself morphs and turns into like this raised chair for you to sit back in.
Ooh.
She says, "Well, you're a little short. Mind if I pick you up and put you in here?"
Why not?
Right. She picks you up and puts you in this chair that kind of like, it leans like way, way back, so your legs are actually elevated.
Okay.
And then she starts working on your legs.
All right.
So that'll get us through the first half an hour or so of your guys' stuff. So I'll jump back to Aiden for a second here. You are outside. Are you flagging down Sylvia, or how are you going to try and get her attention?
Well, she did say if she needed anything to wave her down.
Mhm.
So he's gonna wave her down.
Okay. It only takes another moment before you see her making another pass to the outside, and she steps over. She says, "Oh, yes. How can I help you? Are you ready to go in?"
Not exactly. I just did have a couple of questions for you if you weren't too busy to indulge me.
All right, but the mud's getting dry.
Alright then. So, I suppose to start, what made you desire to create a place like this out in the middle of the desert?
It was more that me and my family found it, and well, we loved it so much we thought, why not share it with others? Try and be a place of rest and relaxation in this hellhole.
And was so what was so particular about this cave, I suppose? What Surely this isn't the only cave in the desert. Why choose this one?
Certainly it's not the only cave in the desert. However, it's the only one that we've ever seen that had its own hot spring inside. It's not very often you stumble across something like that, and when we found it, it looked like it was a recent cave-in that opened it to the outside, and we saw the steam pouring out, and, well, when we went inside and saw the chambers and thought, we could certainly design something out of this, and slowly we set to work and did.
You said you and your family, are they still here?
Oh, yes, there's about 6 of us. It's me, my husband, and my sister is still with us, my mother is still with us, and we have a daughter.
I see. So, I suppose, how do you keep it all running if you charge it for free?
Well, why charge when everything we do is free? We grow our own food. That's all we serve. If you want something more than that, you have to bring it yourself. And the water is free. It's supplied by whatever runs the spring underground, but it's no charge for us to run this place. Why would we charge people to enjoy it? Why should we be the only ones to enjoy it for free? That seems rather rude. And sure, there'd be profit to be made, but what would we spend it on? We're happy living here.
Insight check.
Sure.
Yawned with me. Well, that's a shitty roll. Alright.
She's pretty hard to read, but seems to be truthful as best you can tell.
Interesting. I guess I apologize for my brashness. Just all of this feels peculiar to me, I guess, at least. And I'm not sure if it's just me and my own past experiences that have made me this way. But oftentimes I have kept myself alive by questioning things like this.
I certainly understand. It's quite an oddity, something like this out here.
What was your life like before you found this place?
Well, we were nomadic by nature. Some people call us gypsies, things of that nature. We just kind of traveled and made money where we could. It wasn't easy. It wasn't hard necessarily sometimes, but no real direction. Just going with the wind, as you might say.
Another insight check if possible.
Sure. again,
better than
pretty,
last time.
yeah, still pretty hard to read, but you gather, as far as you can tell, she's telling the truth. But I mean, like I said, it's pretty hard to read. She's got a pretty blank face. She's just kind of like super relaxed and going with it, so it's hard to really nitpick much.
I appreciate you indulging my, I guess, rather blunt questions.
Oh, no problems. So, mud bath?
I'll wait to see how my compatriots feel after their return, and maybe I'll be able to give you a more concrete answer.
Alright, but I warn you, there probably still another 30 minutes or so before you're gonna see them again. And they might move on to another activity before coming back out. It is brunch time, and very soon after we usually have an evening performance before dinner time. So
We'll see.
you're also welcome to follow me in and ask them yourself if you'd like.
I would like that, if that's possible.
That's fine. Look, again, I just warn you, you may want to doff your armor. You can certainly bag it and take it with you, but it will rust very quickly in those caverns.
Is this... I'm assuming the steam within is very strong, I suppose.
It is, and it's a mineral steam, given the fact that we are in a mineral-rich desert. Metal does not do very well down there.
What about metal that has been enchanted?
Well, darling, you may or may not realize, but most of this desert is magical. And thus, most of the elements that are contained within it are also magical, so unfortunately, yes, it would still be subject to some rather gross tarnishing and rusting.
That does not sit well with Aiden, but alright. Very well. Alright. I don't know if Aiden can really shove plate mail into the proportions of a bag of holding.
It can be. If you take it off, each plate and each section of it can be stacked and folded to fit into a bag of holding.
Okay.
They're not I mean they're solid like slabs and pieces, but it's not like the whole chest front and back is one solid piece. You know, they latch and they break apart. So yeah, you could certainly collapse it down.
Okay. I would like to keep my sword out in its sheath, though. I don't know if it's going to be subjected to the same effects, since this sword is more of on a divine skill rather than just a magical weapon.
There's only one way to find out.
God damn it. I mean, as long as I don't have it, like, out in the immediate open air, it's going to be in its sheath. So...
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we'll take a chance. It's gonna keep it in its sheath.
Okay.
That way it doesn't get exposed to as nearly as much as my armor would.
Okay. Yeah, so just go ahead and unequip your armor on your player sheet.
No.
And are you dressing in any certain way, or are you just kind of wearing your under armor garments?
Yeah, he's not disrobing. He's just gonna keep the garments on.
Alright, so you step back out, and she says, well, right this way. And don't blame me if something rusts, you were warned. And you follow her down. And as you do, you also hit this mist, and you begin to instantly sweat. But it also feels cooling and relaxing at the same time. And as you step into this central chamber, you also see the 3 offshoots. She points first to a door on your left. She says, that's the sauna room. That's where you'll find your dragonborn friend. Behind this middle door here is our massage therapy room. That's where you will find your creepy girlfriend. You might want to.
That's how Sylvia is wording.
You might want to knock first. I'm not sure what massage she's in the middle of, so. In this third chamber here without the door that leads first to the mud room, and then past that is the breakfast hall and our entertainment area. So you are welcome to do what you will, but it is time for me to head out and start preparing and serving our brunch. So please enjoy yourself. Should you need me, that's where I'll be. She begins to head off down the third corridor.
Okay. She did warn that like things would immediately rust, correct?
Yeah, not immediately, but very quickly.
Okay, how does my sword look?
It looks wet at the moment, and where it is usually like very shiny and platinum, it looks almost more white at the moment than it does platinum. Like it looks a little dull, being coated with this mist.
Knowing with my obvious like expertise in smithing, would I be able to identify like how a sword is beginning to be subjected to the elements?
Yeah, you would recognize that this is a very early stage of tarnish, and
Okay.
at the end of tarnish you get rust.
Okay, then I'm dumping my weapon into my bag of holding.
Okay.
And getting it out of the mist.
Cool. So just go ahead and unequip that for me then. And then is there a room you want to step into?
Let me make sure I don't have any other metal things out and
Yep.
about before I continue. I do not need my platinum sword of Bahamut getting wrecked. Thank you. Need that. Kind of need that. Let me. Gotta get rid of my shield too. Yep, that's gotta go in the bag of holding.
Cool.
And I guess you'll go and check on Callie first.
Okay. So Callie, as you are laying back, getting this leg massage, they have made it down to like your toes. And
She's
it
probably
feels
half
awesome.
asleep and lightly snoring.
You are briskly awoken by a knock, a rapping at the door.
This room's occupied.
It's me, Callie. I'm just coming in to check on you.
Fine.
Jeez, don't sound so antagonized about it.
Aiden, do you understand the purpose of a massage?
Not particularly, since I've never really gotten one.
That explains so much. What do you want?
To check in on you, like I said.
You
Rain.
worry too much. This is
Yes, I
Brit.
get that a lot. Bridge?
Brit,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Brit.
You see this female Goliath kind of look up at you, and she says, "Oh, you look tense."
He
Yes,
is.
I also get that a lot.
Yeah, you could use me. And she just kind of slaps the table next to her that Callie's not on. She says, "You hop up there as soon as you're ready."
I'll think about it, but I was just mainly checking in on my friend here.
Yeah, you're
Still
off.
trying to.
My shift is
trying-
another 3 hours, so you're welcome anytime.
Thank you. I'm just trying to get a feel for this place is all.
She just kind of nods and goes back to the foot massage. You can hear Callie's like toes begin to snap and crack and pop as she's like
Goodness.
bending and popping all your toes.
Snap,
And
crack, pop. Jesus Christ.
Wow.
it hurts
Sure,
for a
I'm
second, then it
intense
feels
one.
so good.
Uh,
You haven't had your toes cracked in forever.
You say I'm the tense one. Well,
so what do you want to know?
I mean, it really was just coming to check in on you, even though you antagonized me a lot. Still care for your well-being.
I don't need looking after, you know.
Well, that's too bad. You're stuck with me. And when
Yeah.
you're stuck with me, I look after you whether you like it or not.
You just sound so much like my dad.
No? Doesn't really know what to say to that, but it's just who I am. I'm gonna have to get used to that.
I suppose. At least Dad likes weird things. You don't even have that going for you.
I'm sorry I don't stack up to your father.
What's the creepiest thing you've ever done?
Creepiest thing I've ever done. Dude have this magical weapon that my friend Lalia gave me. And after we had finished boarding a ship that had harbored the soul of a Death Knight, we used that magical weapon to beat a group of skeletons senseless while they were impaled on a couple of pikes. We got a silver piece for each one we killed.
Calliope like just sits there for a second and like blinks. Okay. Perhaps I underestimated you.
It's not exactly my finest hour.
Oh, I'd beg to disagree. But that's okay.
Still little, so little about you.
You could always find out more by asking.
Would you really give me a straight answer?
Would you know if I didn't?
I could certainly try.
Only one way to find out.
If I remember correctly, you told me a little bit about your strong fascination with the undead and such. You never really went into detail,
Oh.
like what really brought all that on.
Oh. That's actually a relatively straightforward story. My parents are into it. You know, most little baby girls got bright pink unicorn birthday parties with lots of frosting. And my parents got me a guillotine.
Parents necromancers or something?
No, just interested in all things dark and gothic.
I see. What do your parents exactly do for work?
Well, my dad's, I guess you'd call him a politician. And my mom is a politician's wife.
Define what he does as a politician.
Have you ever talked to a politician?
I'm a soldier. No.
Yeah, so they pretty much just talk for a living. They go out to lots of restaurants, and they eat food, and they buy food for other politicians. Sometimes they give speeches, Sometimes they kiss babies. All I know is that he traveled a lot.
Insight check.
Sure. I gotta wake my computer back up.
What is my fucking
What?
my rolls today? Jesus Christ.
Alright.
It's fucking going sour.
I mean, she's a little hard for you to read, but seems earnest and perhaps a little annoyed with dear old dad. If that makes sense.
That's where I was going with the insight check.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How she felt about that particularly.
Yep.
So I can at least gauge that there's some level of frustration with how often her dad travels.
Yep.
Okay. You don't seem particularly happy about how often your father travels.
I guess it's not so much that I mind when he travels. He always brings me neat trinkets back. Like that belt I got from the one time he came out here to the desert. And a bunch of the hand bones that are in my room.
Right.
But
No amount of trinkets can substitute a father's attention.
yeah, that.
So in reality, you wanted his attention more so than the trinkets he brought, as good as they were at the time.
Listen, Aiden, if I wanted a therapy session, I would have gone to the therapy room.
I'm just trying to understand you, is all. That was the whole idea of this conversation, was it not? Sorry that it's getting a little bit tense. That's what happens when you try and make an effort to understand someone.
Grown-ups are so annoying.
How old are you again?
How old is she? I can't remember. I think I made her...
Oh my god.
I'll be 18 next year.
How dare you? I'm literally a child, Lord.
Is that okay,
18.
Chris? That
Yeah,
you- okay.
that's
That's just...
Good Lord. Not even at the age of 18 and you are out scouring the world on your own.
And I'm doing a great job of it.
I suppose I can't complain there. After all, you're with us. And subsequently Xandadar.
Yeah, he's now my boss.
Is he actually?
Yeah. The Montrose put him in charge of me.
My apologies.
As bosses go, he's not so bad.
Yes. Yes, well. You'll get used to him. Like a little brother who's constantly trying to challenge you for the title of Big Brother.
I don't have any siblings.
Well, neither do I. Not Xandadar is not the closest thing that I have to one. That's saying something. What about your mother?
Oh, Mother's wonderful. You know, while Dad traveled, she sometimes went with him, but she usually stayed home to, you know, do the random responsibilities that came up while he was away. Lots of entertaining foreign ambassadors and visitors and all that. I
I'm
got
trying to
really
insight.
good at spying on their dinner parties.
What exactly did you manage to see?
Nothing of interest. It was more fun for me to know they didn't know I was there than to actually pick up on anything they were saying. All boring political stuff. So and so's at war with so and so. It was fun to see new guests' reaction to our house, though.
I'll bet. I can only imagine the amount of trinkets that hang along the walls and shelves.
The collection ever grows.
Right. So you don't particularly care about politics as such, you just want to explore the world and see what's out there.
Yes.
Is that right?
Absolutely. Politics are so boring. Everybody talks, but no one does anything. I just want to go out and do stuff. You can't save the world just by talking about things like tariffs and peace agreements.
Not always. But sometimes you need to have those talks in order to make it organized.
Ugh.
Having the ability to do action is good as well, but if you can't organize it, then it's not nearly as effective.
She pretends to start snoring again.
I'm not saying it's a fun process, believe me. But sometimes it's necessary, as boring and as irritating as it may sound.
And see?
I do, but
Oh, go ahead.
don't get me wrong. I too prefer action much more as the guy next to me, but sometimes the use of words is just ineffective. Sometimes too much action is just... Sometimes too much action is just... In the end, you sometimes make things worse than what you were trying to accomplish. I'm not saying this to try to change your mind, but just keep it in the back of your head there. You'd be surprised.
Well, I'll think on that while Britt finishes with my feet, but thank you.
Yeah, Britt kind of looks over at you now, Aiden. She's like, yeah, you're probably not going to get much talking after this, because next is the beat 'em up section. It's kind of hard to talk to people when I'm giving them the thumpy thumps, you know what I mean?
Insight check on Callie first really fast. I want to see if she's actually gonna think about it, or if she just said that to just to say that.
I don't even know if this would be persuasion or deception. I think the vibe you get from her is just very much like she is so young, and all of what you're saying sounds like you know, when you're like, when you look back at your like 16-year-old self who thought they were invincible and didn't want to, you know, taxes were some made up thing that other people worried about, or, you know, my job just pays for the bare essentials and then I spend all the rest on video games and bubblegum or whatever it was, right? Like, so she's just very much like, yeah, that's all grown up stuff I'll worry about someday.
God damn it. Yeah, let out a sign. You tried.
So at this point, Britt kind of looks at you, Callie. She's like, alright, are you ready for this next part?
Absolutely.
Alright, so she kind of lifts you up and sets you back down. And Aiden, as you're turning to go, you see as she taps the chair again, and it morphs back into a table.
Mm-hmm.
And she kind of taps the table and says, alright, hop up on your belly.
All right.
You watch as she kind of like cups her hands and she starts giving you like the back thumps.
Yep.
Aiden, where are you headed?
Check on Xandar.
Okay. You step over to the sauna room, you open the door, and you see Zanzibar kind of currently sitting back against the wall, and you see just a very thin veil of water, like a waterfall, kind of cresting and breaking over the back of his head and his shoulders as there's this chunk of coals and a brazier in the middle that are giving off extra steam as this small dripping of water from the ceiling is dropping into it. And Zan, you see Aiden enter the room with you.
Finally made up your mind to relax, didn't you?
Not exactly. I just mainly came to check in on the both of you.
Oh.
Unfortunately, all the steam in here is rather damaging to my armor and armaments, so I couldn't bring it in here with me.
I mean, the point is to not bring it in here, obviously.
Aiden, make a perception check for me.
Jesus Christ, okay. 12.
Okay. It wasn't hard. It was just whether or not you let your eyes look. You do catch, just out of the briefest corner of your eye for a second, the side of Zanzibar, whichever side he put it on, in the like waistband of his underwear. You see the pommel or the hilt of a dagger, and as the blade of the dagger would be concealed by his undergarments, you see this like orange like circle. Like you just see this big orange, like smeary, almost
Like rust.
yeah.
I don't understand why you're lecturing me about bringing my armaments in here. You literally have a rusty dagger in your waistband now.
Yeah, it's for protection.
You aren't going to protect yourself against anything with a piece of trash weapon like that now.
You don't think I could stab someone with this?
No. If they have any kind of decent amount of armor, that dagger is going to crack and break.
Okay, put
The
your
amount
money
of-
where your mouth is. Set your hand down right here.
I'm not going to give you my bare hand to stab at you with a rusty knife. You do realize that's it's a
Technic-
disease waiting to happen, right?
So you agree I could stab you?
I'm saying it's not going to be very effective in a real fight. That's what I'm telling you.
Well,
You
I'm
can
not
stab anyone with
planning
them.
on having a real fight in here. If I want a real fight, I'll go get my armor and stuff.
Well, then why did you bring the dagger in here?
For if someone got too close to me, I could stab them.
Oh, just in case, right?
Yeah.
Right, like I brought my stuff in here, just in case. So don't start lecturing me about bringing my own things in here.
I just didn't see it on you.
Yes, because I want to keep my equipment in shape.
Hmm.
Trying to run around in rusty armor is about as torturous as you can get.
Right, but if a fight broke out into here, you would still have to pull out your sword, right?
No, my sword is no different. I tried earlier, and I could easily see that it was going to start rusting if I didn't put it away. So in reality, I'm going to have to rely on, well, brute force.
Okay.
But that doesn't mean I don't have a trick up my sleeves, of course.
I'm gonna test something out real quick. I'm gonna
Sure.
light up my hands.
Mm-hmm.
shocking touch.
Ooh.
On
Just
shooting
like
it out.
see if the water conducts.
God. God.
Okay, so you kind of look at the wall and you charge up your hands real quick to do a shocking touch. Roll a d100 for me.
Oh
Yeah.
God.
Woo!
Oh God.
Well,
Oh God.
Okay. Is this a 2-hit or is it a save?
it's a touch spell. It's to hit.
Okay, roll to hit.
20.
Okay. Without your armor, Aiden, what is your current armor class?
15.
That hits. Roll damage as you go to shocking touch the wall, and you watch as it magically gets redirected to your nearest ally. Aiden, you watch as Zan kind of charges his hands and like pushes them towards the wall, and you see the electricity like it goes to move towards the wall, but then it arcs around through the air, touching all of these little water droplets as it sparks and arcs back to your chest, and you take 12 points of shocking damage.
Really?
I could always do that if a fight broke out.
Yeah, if you're like leaving things up to chance.
So you would recognize that that was not because of the caves, but because of the magical nature of the desert.
So there we go. If a fight broke out, I'm pretty much screwed either way, but
Right then. You enjoy yourself.
I have been.
Yeah, Aiden's gonna step out.
You got it.
Maybe you should go check on Gostier.
No, Cammy's probably drinking that milk.
As you step out, you see another elf, elven male this time, has kind of entered this area, Aiden. And he looks to you, says, "Ah, yes, you must be the human. I was sent by my wife, Sylvia. It is time for your friend, the Dragonborn. He's been in the sauna for an hour. It's about time for him to come out. Else he might start pruning or hallucinating or begin getting a little lightheaded and faint. So if you don't mind, I can do it, or if you'd like to let him know for me."
Well, I think it would be more appropriate for you to do so, because I, not even 2 minutes ago, was just heavily shot by him.
Oh, well,
So I don't
goodness.
think I would be in a good mood to be able to pull him out without hurting him.
Goodness. Okay, well, no worries. I shall grab him. And if you'd like, brunch is now served. It's just 2 corridors down through the mud pit room. If you'd like, I imagine your friend is probably going to join you. He's going to be quite hungry once he steps out of this doorway. Believe you me. And he opens the door and peeks his head in. And Zan, you see this elven figure kind of peek his head in. He says, "Oh, it's time for you to get out before you pass out. Brunch
it
is
is.
being served, so..." What was that?
Are you gonna go eat too?
Oh, yes, of course. It's brunch time. I always eat at brunch time.
Oh, good. We can go together.
Yes, wonderful. Come on, follow me. Do you
I'll call
follow?
you my new friend.
Wonderful. He steps back out and kind of looks at Aiden and he says, "You had another friend here as well getting a massage, right? We should probably check in with him." And he walks
Right,
over to the
I
massage
believe-
room.
They had arrived at the back bump portion of the massage.
Oh, wonderful. That doesn't take very long. This should be a perfect time to interrupt. And he knocks on the door. Says, Britt, are you finished? And you guys hear from the other side, oh yeah, we're just finishing up. And he opens the door. And Callie, you see right here at the end, Britt is like giving you some thumps, and she kind of gives you one big final one, and you feel all your back crack and your muscles release. She's like, well, that's it for my massage. I think it's brunch time. You can take her.
She stands up and she goes, that made my fingers all tingly.
She says, yeah, that's what I do best.
I can do that too.
Yeah?
Zap.
Oh, you gonna try another shocking test?
God damn it.
Roll a D100.
91.
Okay. You feel the spell takes an extra second to actually launch, but you do see it slowly arc through the air and connect with Callie. You can roll to hit.
21.
Pretty sure that hits you without armor, right?
Barely. So, yeah, I'll take it.
Go ahead and roll your shocking damage.
20.
Take 20
Dang.
points of shocking damage.
Alright,
from
I
Zane.
take it all back. I want to use my wings. Goodness.
You feel your muscles tense just a little bit more, but then they release.
And it's exactly like when Zan lightning breathed all the sandworms and Callie's hair stood on end. Like again in here, it's like, zzz, and she goes, wow.
That the male elf just kind of, all right, it's brunch time. Follow me, everyone. We'll take you back to the center, and well, I'm not sure what's on the menu today, but I'm quite excited.
You know, if you ever need extra fruit, there's an oasis. It's relatively near here.
Oh, wonderful. Sylvia mentioned something about an oasis. Maybe we can talk about that after brunch. Well, could be quite exciting if there's some fruit there. Bring a little extra oomph into the area. I mean, we've got our own fruits, but, you know, something growing on the surface could be delicious.
Yep.
Well, all right. And he begins to lead you all back. As you traverse through the mud room, you see this area that's just kind of set up. It looks like there's some bathtubs. They're kind of haphazard. Looks like barrels that have been cut in half, but they're full of this like bubbling mud. And you can see that underneath the barrels, there's some sort of warming mechanism. There's like some coals and probably something magical going on that makes this nice warm mud. But you don't see anybody in it at the moment. Looks like it was recently vacated. As he leads you through that room, you next come into a chamber that's a little bit bigger. It looks like maybe 3 or 4 chambers that were kind of carved out and added together at some point. But you see a large buffet table set up against the back wall and a handful of people here eating. You see Sylvia is currently laying down some plates and some dishes and some carafes of stuff, and she just kind of looks and gives you all away and says, find a seat wherever you may like and enjoy our food. You see a bunch of like little pillows around, like those small Japanese style tables on the ground have been set up in various areas. And as you all take a look in, you can see this awesome spread of fruits and veggies and maybe some sort of like bean or tofu type dish. And a handful of other individuals that are just kind of sitting and eating, and it feels very welcoming and feels there's not quite as much steam in here. You can see that some sort of exhaust vent has been created to keep this place a little more dry. And you can all get your vast assortment of foods and things, and you all can sit at a table and begin to have this delicious meal in this random cave paradise in the middle of this hellish desert. And I think that's where we'll pick up next week.
Okay.
Good deal.
So we'll call it there. Go ahead and say goodbye to the stream. We'll see where our adventures take us next time.